Hello! Hello! Hello, everybody. It's that time of the year. Draft night. Doing this for, I don't know. This might be like our. I was thinking if I had to throw a number, like a guess, this might be like our 10th year of doing our first round NFL draft live stream hangout sesh. We've been doing this for a while. It's always an exciting night. I think, well, personally, as it relates to me as an Eagle fan, I love the way that Howie Roseman's got. I don't know the polite way to say this. Ever since Howie Roseman has figured out how to draft, these last couple drafts, right? The Arcega Whitesides, the Raegers, those are a thing of the past. I love that. But from a content creation, hanging out, stream with you guys standpoint, what Howie Roseman was making, terrible picks seem to be the funner content. People like the meme. I mean, I get it, right? You know. Take J.J. Arcega Whiteside over DK Metcalf. Take Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. You're going to get clowned. What I need you guys to do, who you guys thinking? I'll be paying attention in the chat. I'm going to try to lock in. What teams are you guys fans of? Like, who are you hoping you guys draft tonight? I'll see if I can start getting some names down so when the picks are coming up, I can see what you guys are saying. I can assume from some of these names, Texas Bourbon Lover. Seen him before. Cowboys, pretty let me also make sure that I can load up. All right, I'm gonna have to tweet reactions here. I only have so many screens right now. I got the stream screen. I got my maid feed that you guys are seeing. I got the draft stream on my phone. I'm going off NFL Network. I don't know what you guys are watching, but alrighty. I don't know, because I don't really want to be on X. These streams, sometimes the picks get spoiled in chat a little bit. When I know the pick is coming up, I might not be totally locked in. But dude, I don't even know how you can enjoy if you're one of the people that are constantly on X during the draft, because it's the worst I find after your team picks, because it's all right. So once Philly makes their pick at 23, I'm not gonna say necessarily checked out, but it's, you know what I'm saying. So you feel all right, I'm gonna go on X. I want to see how what Eagle fans are thinking about their pick, and while you're there, you just have all these insiders spoiling all the picks. What the fuck? You told me the Browns and Bears pick already? The Eagles just got off the clock. I don't know. I feel that kind of kills the draft experience a little bit, but I mean, I get it. People are always going to want to spoil it and be the first to, hey, since you can monetize X, I can't knock anyone's grind. Air Swoosh, if the Raiders aren't trading, don't waste time. Yeah, that's another huge pet peeve. I honestly think that's a strong indicator. This is something that I coined. It was last year or the year before. Whatever team, especially if you're pick one, but there's always a team. If you're the number one pick, and how many years has there been not a consensus guy? You know what I'm saying? Maybe a couple years here and there, where there's not a clear and obvious quarterback. That's okay, maybe you can run a little bit of the time out. You probably know who you're taking, but if there's 2-3 players that could potentially go, and it's not a star quarterback year, any year a defensive player went first, you can think about it. But when you are picking number one, and everyone knows your pick, and you still run that clock down, you're gonna be cursed for that upcoming season. I literally think who was that team? I might have cursed Jacksonville. I mean, they had a pretty good year, but didn't win the Super Bowl. I think the Jags last year with Travis Hunter just no, let it roll. Is it weird that I'm more excited at the draft trades than the pick itself? Well, I mean, I think you're an Eagles fan, so yes. I think depending on your team, I think there are some teams that as soon as you see a trade happen, you're probably terrified. You're like, you almost assume like this is terrible. No, this is not going to work out. There are a couple teams. We are very blessed in Philadelphia with, Howie Roseman growing and adapting over the years. That if Philly trades up, you're like, oh shit. Who did we just get? Who did we just steal away from somebody? So my point being, I don't know. I understand your perspective, especially as an Eagle fan. We're privileged to be almost excited for a trade up, more so than the actual pick. But I think there's a lot of teams that are like, nope, don't mess this up. Make our pick. Pick here. Oh, why this? Just 1 second here. What the fuck? Good calls. I made a fancy thumbnail. It didn't save. There we go. I'm going to put it there now. I don't know if anyone can back out and see if the thumbnail is now actually my draft one, which I just shamelessly took my my makeup picture for the Raiders and Mendoza and threw it up there. What's going on, everybody? All right, so change is safe, so it should be an updated thumbnail here. I hope so. But we are 12 minutes away from the first pick. And if my only comments on this first pick is we're almost all in consensus this is going to be Fernando Mendoza. It's how quickly do the Raiders get the pick in? That's what we're looking for at that first overall pick. If the Raiders make that pick and they're still, I think they said they knocked it down to 9 minutes per pick. The Raiders make their pick and there's like 4 to 5 minutes still left on the clock. They're going to have a great year. But the Raiders run this pick down to under 2 minutes. And it's Fernando Mendoza. They're going to be cursed. Absolutely cursed. They're getting 3 wins minimum next year. And 5 wins maximum. There we go. Beautiful thumbnail. Thank you very much, Daddy Trump. Jerry trade 12 and 20 for 4 and get love. Eagles, I predict, will trade A.J. Brown in the draft for the Seahawks' first-round pick. Maybe get Jermod or Cisse. There's just no way, man. Like, we can't trade him till June 2nd. Only 8 minutes between picks. Okay, very nice. I mean, let's be honest. It's not bad with the first, couple picks. But, when you get in those late teens, when Minnesota's up and they're still running the clock down, you know what I'm saying? You're waiting for the Vikings pick. I don't care. Or, when the Chargers are on the clock, who gives a shit? Let's give these people less time. You know the board. I think 5 minutes. 5 minutes right there. And, even with that 5 minutes, that's mostly just to give, if you're trading. You should know your pick if you're staying put. I truly refuse to believe there's a room full of executives and millionaires who get paid to run NFL teams. They literally, it's like Madden, where they're all in the room with 8 minutes to start, running around. The place is on fire. Who the hell do we pick? I have no idea who we're picking. You know what I'm saying? These teams know who they're picking. Let's not, tell me this whole thing being 10-minute per pick is not just to sell ads and have longer commercial breaks. You know what I'm saying? We're being lied to and manipulated. The draft starts in 10 minutes, 8 p.m. Eastern. The Chiefs will trade up with the Giants to get a player. I think I agree with those vibes. I think Kansas City, you're in rare territory. Assuming KC's even relatively good next year, they will not be picking anywhere near 9. So while you're up here in the top 10, I think this is the time to be aggressive. This is the time to, maybe get that top 5 pick. Maybe see, the Giants at 5 or the Browns at 6 are willing to do business. Arizona at 3, a lot of people think could potentially trade down. That's what I would do if I was running the Chiefs. If I really like some guy. I don't know who you know, like a David Bailey, like they, Ruben Bain, one of those guys. Like, would they trade big for an edge rush? I don't think they'd trade up for Carnell Tate. I don't think Kansas City would be wanting to invest that. I mean, maybe though. Like, who the hell are the Chiefs receivers? Like, they don't have a guy that's, especially with Kelsey getting up there. Like, they don't have that. They think Tate's like gonna be the wide receiver one, gonna be the main 100-catch, 1,400-yard, 15 touchdown guy. They could go wide receiver. I didn't really ever think of that. I don't think in any like mock draft scenario I ever had Kansas City going wide receiver. Like, a lot of people have them going Jeremiah Love before free agency. I don't think they're going to go after. And then they got Worley. So you have speed, and that jury's still out. I think Xavier Worley's going to be, or at least live up to the draft hype. And then Rashee Rice, solid player, good player, but the off the field has to be surely concerning. I think the Giants are going to take. Man, I hope. I almost view that more as a football fan than an NFC East rival. Like, I would, just let Scatabo come back healthy and be the RB1 there. You don't need to muddy that up and have Scatabo be some, like, gimmicky, high-volume running back. Like, we don't need Cam Scatabo being the David Montgomery to a Jeremiah Love playing the Jahmyr Gibbs situation like they had in Detroit. With all due respect. I mean, I think if you're the Giants, you're like, okay, sure. I think that full commitment to the run game with Jackson Dart's dual threat ability, maybe that's something that's worth drafting a running back early. But I'd be very surprised. Come on, man. Any chance Kansas City would go Sadiq? I hope not, because I want him to fall to the Eagles. I mean, they could. Kelsey's, slowing down. Kelsey's not really Kelsey anymore. So, Andy Reid absolutely would find a way to get both of them on the field. And then you're just a successor, assuming Kelsey's only really back for one more season. So I think they could do it, for sure. That'd be one of those ones like, one thing I haven't checked is who Kenyon Sadiq had for like his top 30 visits. Like, was there any team that kind of stuck out? Though for a lot of players, just, you're trying to do predictive mock drafts. It's always kind of like, I use it like a little bit of like a tiebreaker. But yeah, I wonder if what teams brought Kenyon Sadiq in for a top 30 visit. Because if Kansas City did, like, that would be absolutely in play. I wonder if he went to Baltimore. Wonder if he went to Carolina. I think those are teams that could go tight end for sure. The Eagles to draft Blake Miller than Eli Stowers. Thoughts? Blake Miller's a good player. As much as I could say from the 4 minutes that I cut up I watched, was far from grinding tape this year on tackles and guards. But Blake Miller, I like the body of work. I like the fact that started a lot of games and at a high level for Clemson. I think for Philadelphia, where you don't have Jeff Stoutland anymore, the mastermind, the developer, I think Blake Miller's a little more pro-ready than some of those other tackles that are in that range. I think he's more pro-ready, obviously, than like Freeling, probably Caden Proctor in that area, depending on how a lot of people, pretty divisive opinions on Caden Proctor. So, I mean, I would get it. If we do go tackle night, I'll be a little like, womp, 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 womp. It's sad, but it's not going to be a rage. It's not going to be throwing a freaking chair like I did when Philly drafted Jalen Hurts. It's just going to be bad vibes, low vibes, because it's hard to get excited for a tackle. And I actually saw a very interesting clip. Brian Baldinger, who does most teams, I think he's like an NFL Network guy, but he does a lot of like Eagles-specific content, and he's really good buddies with Lane Johnson. So he's like our insider to the offensive line. And he said it was like some sort of podcast, and Brian Baldinger said Lane Johnson's successor is not in this year's draft. So, like, that's, if anybody's kind of hearing what Lane's thinking when they're working out, I think Baldy, that wasn't just purely his opinion on the matter of the tackles in this year's class. I think there could be something internally coming from that. But, hey, if they do get it, and, you really want that insurance policy for Lane Johnson, that successor for Lane Johnson, I just hate the vibes of, like, if we use a first-round pick on a tackle, the debate, the conversation turns to, Lane, when are you retiring? Like, we use this first round pick. Are you retiring it? Like, at no point, especially the fact that there's been like no drop off in Lane Johnson's elite play, should we as fans be like, come on, man, are you gonna retire? Because we just burned a first round pick on a tackle, assuming you were gonna retire after 1 year. And if Lane ends up playing like 2 seasons, 3 seasons, maybe, then this pick is like, well, shit, this guy just can't find a way to get on the field. By that point, to put a pin in it, I talked about this a lot on my second channel, kind of if you're an Eagle fan in particular, my last couple of mock drafts. My vibe's on, if we go offensive line, I think Caden Proctor has to be the pick. Now, I also agree that the idea of him struggling against speed rushers in the NFL, the small, agile guys, is a very real possibility, and it's a boomer bust pick, and we don't have Jeff Stelton and all those other things. But I think the fact that Caden Proctor could challenge for right guard with Tyler Steen, that gives me like a slight pull and lean towards getting Caden Proctor and being the most. He'd be like the lineman I'd be the most all right with leaving if we get at 23. I think any sort of trade up for a tackle is going to be brutal. But if he falls there at 23, at least the idea is like he can contribute. You're not essentially redshirting him just to purely be Lane Johnson's successor. I think he can come in, compete with Tyler Steen for that right guard spot. And then if he earns it, if he makes it his own, then you don't have that worry of like, come on, Lane, retire. Like, this guy can play guard and then eventually swing out to tackle if so need be. So I think Caden Proctor would be the guy. Then Eli Stowers, not for Philadelphia, I don't think. I think we want to try to get a Dallas Goedert successor. We need a all-around tight end, a tight end that can block, a tight end that can get yards after catch, a tight end that's great receiver, good athlete. I mean, how those grow on trees. That's why I think Kenyon Sneak would be a great pick. But I think for Stowers, he's like, some teams would probably consider him as like a just straight up wide receiver. He's more of one of those big slots than he is like a traditional tight end that can do it all and contribute in the pass game and in the run game. So stylistically, I don't love Eli Stowers for that, especially if you're like in that second round range. If we're getting a tight end there, I would want like someone more like Oscar Delp from Georgia, who has already come in established blocking. He's doing the dirty part. He's doing the hard part. And then he goes out and runs a 4.49. So you're starting to see with Oscar Delp, like, okay, this is early round athleticism. This is a big time athlete at the position. While not having the receiving production at Georgia, I think that's a Georgia thing, probably more than it is an Oscar Delp thing. You know, when was Darnell Washington's stat line his final year at Georgia? It's the nature of the beast there. So I would rather a swing like that, where it's a tight end that has a chance at giving us the best Dallas Goedert replacement for all the things that Dallas Goedert, at his peak, has done well for us. But there we go. We are a minute or two away. I wonder if Omar Cooper will be cool. The thing with Omar Cooper, though, is I liked him a lot early in this process. He was like a 3rd, 4th round pick. And that was like the sweet spot. I got him in like a couple mock drafts that I was sharing probably back in January, like mid-January. Like, I don't even think the college football playoffs started yet. I was in on Omar Cooper. I mean, the catch against Penn State was just like, that was enough to go like, okay, I'm you know, in the note stock on the phone, Cooper. Who's this Cooper guy? I heard about Elijah Surratt. He was supposed to be the big-time wide receiver to Indiana. Knew about Elijah Surratt. Who's this Cooper guy? You know what I'm saying? So I'm a fan of his game, but I liked it more. I feel like his whole value got a little expensive for me. Like Omar Cooper in the first round, it's like I like the player. It's like my view on Drew Makuba. I really like Drew Makuba. He was probably the safety I was higher on than consensus last year in draft. I think Makuba was 4th round, 4th, 5th round, and I was like, I like him in the 3rd. And then Philly, you know, we had to go get our guy. Love the player, don't love the value. I think that's probably my vibes. If like Omar Cooper is the guy at 23, definitely do not trade up for him. Mesidor would be an option, and they could trade Nolan Smith to it. Man, I don't know. I love as many Canadians as humanly possible that can get on the Eagles, but I don't know about Mesidor. What I use to watch football? What the fuck does that mean? Is that even English? I'm watching my draft. If you're asking what coverage I'm watching for football. I am watching the NFL Network because I don't know. I've always loved the NFL Network because I like to go with the broadcast that tells the less worst, saddest stories about every single draft pick. That tends to be the NFL Network. Here we go. They're coming out. Are we gonna make this now? That's what everyone knows. This first pick's Fernando Mendoza. What we are waiting for and looking for is how long it takes the Raiders to make their pick. If they are prompt, they're standing 10 toes down on their business, and make the Mendoza pick like 2 minutes in to someone said it was an 8-minute clock. You know what I'm saying? If they can make that pick before 5 minutes, the Raiders are going to be a wild card team this year. But if the Raiders, damn well knowing everyone knows they're going Fernando Mendoza, runs that clock, I'm bumping up under 3 minutes. The Raiders are going to get 3 wins next season. Maximum 3 wins. That is a guarantee right there. All right, who do we got up here? Cam Hayward and TJ Watt. You know what? I bet you there's someone out there that just like Ty Simpson first overall pick. Like you just put like $1 on it. Watch that guy hit. What the hell would that? I don't even know what would those odds be? Like 10,000 to 1? Ty Simpson first overall pick? Yeah, what's Roger doing here? We are 3 minutes over the clock. Come on, Roger, sound it out. Jesus Christ, buddy. This guy reads at a grade 3 level. Today, Junior. Any Steeler fans in chat? Who's Pittsburgh thinking? That was always an interesting one when it came when I was doing the mock drafts. Pittsburgh was a very interesting one at 21 because it's like, are they gonna? Pittsburgh needs to be the fucking team that it's not gonna happen this year because they're not trading it, but they need to be the team that let's just say somehow Fernando Mendoza goes to pick 2. The Raiders literally go the most Raiders thing they could possibly do. Like the Raiders go Sonny Styles because Al Davis said, as a ghost, this is the crazy. If you don't draft this player, bad things you're gonna be cursed, pretty much. So Sonny Styles goes pick one of the Raiders. If Fernando Mendoza was up for grabs, I would love Pittsburgh to be the team to just finally 3 first-round picks, pay what teams the Reds. The Washingtons traded up to get RG3, all those first-round picks. Pittsburgh needs to do that to go get their franchise quarterback, be it this year or next year. Is that a hot take? I don't know. Steelers are getting Jordan Tyson. You think he's going to fall that far? The medicals are that big of a worry? I would guess that Tyson would probably have a better chance going top 10 than falling out of the top 20. But maybe the medicals are bad. Maybe the medicals are real bad, worse than people are making them seem in all the scouting notes. Oh, I'm so nervous. See, for the kicker from UTSA, Jeff A.S., I heard of it. I saw the kicks, the social media highlight reel of that. That's cool. Sure, why not? I don't even think he was their actual kicker either. Wasn't he just their kickoff kicker? That's wild. That's like a lottery pick at kicker. That's how you end up finding the next what's that? The dude from the Cowboys. That's how you find the next Brandon Aubrey. Remember Aubrey? He was like a kicker. He played for up in Canada. He was on Toronto FC. That's the MLS team I like. And now he's just oh, yeah, no, I'm just the best kicker ever. Big-time athlete. They're bringing out every Pittsburgh Steeler. Yeah, where's Willie Parker? Willie Parker, everybody. Casey Hampton, round of applause. Oh, we got Jericho Cotchery, everybody. 2-minute standing ovation for Jericho Cotchery. Oh, Martavis Bryant. He stumbled out here. Remember him for 4 months? And who got more obscure Pittsburgh Steelers references than that in chat? Who can give a better one than those S tier names? Okay, everybody. The Raiders are on the clock, and we are under 7 minutes. The Raiders are in very dangerous territory of cursing their season. Last year, the Tennessee Titans took forever to draft Cam Ward. I said their season was cursed. They were like the worst team in the league. Raiders, if you do not make this pick within the next 3 minutes, you are going to be cursed. It's unreal. They're literally just showing Fernando Mendoza highlights. Make the pick! Oh, Isaiah Loudermilk. That's a good one. That is a good one. Oh, what about man, I'm trying to think of some defensive guys. What about Alan Faneca? Can we get Alan? I mean, he's a goat. Oh my God! Make the fucking pick. Pardon my French. This is, oh my God, I don't want this. I do not want the Raiders to be cursed. I've adopted the Raiders as one of the teams that I've played Madden with for a long, extended period of time, that I always just have a little place, somewhere deep down in my soul, that I kind of root for that team. Now, didn't really have those vibes with Carolina and Arizona. No real ties. Didn't really, once those franchises were over, But the Raiders feel different. I definitely, maybe it's because they're in the AFC, Eagles in the NFC. It's a little bit easier to kind of root for. But I mean, the Raiders are just, they deserve to be decent. I'm a fan of their history. Oh, well, this is now we're getting to a gray area because it looks like in the war room, the pick has been made. They're on the phone. So it feels like the Raiders have sent the pick in. Is this delay of pick now on NFL Network and the NFL draft stage setup there? Because I don't know if it would be fair to penalize the Raiders because all this production takes 45 fucking minutes to announce Fernando Mendoza. Chris Wormley. Yeah. Oh, man, they had Tyler Matakevich. There's one. DeMarvin Leal. Oh, Fitzgerald Toussaint. Oh, who's that other running back they used to have? Muweldy Moore. Hit you with that one. Villanueva. That's a good one. GP11 and his buddies are over here chilling. Let's go. GP11, who do you want your team to draft? Duck Hodges, Benny Snell. Well, okay, so the official draft curse this year, because it was very clearly like 4 minutes left on the clock, and the Raiders are like on the phone talking to the pick. So the fact that we're still waiting feels like this is on the draft people, not the Raiders. But it's also the Raiders also, there was still 4 minutes. They ran it down to 4 minutes. Like this should have been 8 minutes on the clock at 7:36. That pick should have been, the pick is in on the bottom of the ticker. So the Raiders are not getting out of this unscathed, but I'm not thinking they're going to get the full curse. Maybe a half curse. Half curse. Raiders will get 4 wins, so still a shit season, but Ashton Jeanty looks good. So you get a little bit of optimism going into 2027. That is the official curse. Maybe three 50-plus yard touchdowns to Dante Thornton as well in your future. Make the fucking pick! Rashard Mendenhall. Charlie Bass. Charlie Bass was like the OG backup quarterback of all time when I was getting into football. This is embarrassing. Make the fucking pick. I'm gonna try not to cuss a lot because I don't want people being like I'm watching the draft and this guy's just railing off F-bombs like I'm LeBron James in that golf video. Man, he loves the F word. That was bizarre. Raiders select Ty Simpson. What? Oh, there you go. They get Fernando. That's expected. I like it. Mendoza's like a weird one. Mendoza has like the same issue that Kenny Sadiq has. Am I good? I'm good. Mendoza is the same thing Kenny Sadiq has, where it's like Kenny Sadiq, awesome player in this class. Fernando Mendoza, awesome player in this class. Should be the first tight end, easily should be the first quarterback, easily. But then it's like you look back into recent memory, it's like, all right, Kenny Sadiq, as much as incredible, love the idea, especially for me as an Eagle fan, would love to bring him in. He's not Tyler Warren. He's not Brock Bowers. Like, he's not the best tight end of, like, this bubble of this core, this crop of college players, right? Because they're all been in school roughly the same time. So it's kind of hard to be like, I think I get a little bit with Mendoza. It's like, all right, Mendoza, it's like, okay, like, he's a good quarterback. Like him as a quarterback prospect, but, like, he's not, like, that slam dunk, like, this guy's incredible. You know, the vibes of when the Jags got Trevor Lawrence, the vibes of Andrew Luck going to the Colts, the vibes of Joe Burrow going to the Bengals, where it's like, that's the guy. That is the 100% that guy's going to be good. I don't know if you get that 100% with Mendoza, but it's clearly the right pick. And I am excited for the Raiders to potentially have their franchise quarterback. Take it as a blessing that I rebuilt the Raiders so poorly. It took me so long to win the Super Bowl that it just rubbed off on your team in real life, and you were able to tank for the number 1 pick to get your franchise quarterback. You're welcome! This is unreal. Why isn't this updating? Do I have to refresh it? Because if this is a refresh, gotta refresh it. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if I could just be refreshing this to get the picks going here. Oh, I haven't even seen the draft hats. Are the draft hats dope this year? I went through like 3 years in a row. I was buying the draft hat every year. I don't know. It kind of looks like shit, I think. I don't really like it. All right, we have the Jets on the clock. What are we saying here? The Jets, I think it's like, well, obviously it's between 2 guys. We all assume Arvell Reese or David Bailey. And I think like the last week there's been a lot of like movement on David Bailey potentially going here too. The pick is in for the Jets. 3 minutes on the clock. I would say David Bailey would be my prediction here. But they just said on the broadcast they did, I remember hearing that they canceled his top 30 visit. So what did that mean? Did the Jets meet with Arvell Reese and like, this is not our guy at all. We're going David Bailey, lock it in. Or was it, we found our guy, we don't need you to come in, David Bailey? I feel like it's probably more of the other. I think for that to get so publicly played out that they canceled his visit, I think that leans much more towards like they're picking him than it is like airing out. Like that's like, you know, that's like you're literally spreading a rumor in a way. If you're the team, if you're the Jets, you're like, well, we don't want this guy. You know what I'm saying? So you could be. I don't know. I'm leaning David Bailey here. Holy shit! Why are we not making the picks? Pick is in. The pick has been in for 4 minutes. These broadcasts, man. The first round broadcast doesn't have to go to like 1 a.m. every year. You know, we can have a sense of urgency to reward all the people that are not just looking at spoilers on Twitter. We are watching the broadcast. We are supporting the broadcast. Stop insulting our intelligence by making us watch all these ads by Verizon and stuff. All right, the pick is in. I think David Bailey. It'll be interesting for it to be wrong. Whoever they're drafting is definitely going to be on the defensive side of the ball. It's going to be a lot of pressure for Aaron Glenn. But Yarvel Reese, project guy, if he thinks he can reach his ceiling. Ooh, David. Oh, fuck. It already's on the thing. I was watching my... I'm watching... There's going to be plenty of time. More often than not, if it pops up on the screen you guys are seeing, I haven't seen it yet because I'm watching just the NFL thing. David Bailey goes... I like it, man. I think if you are Aaron Glenn, it's less risky for you. I think there's less bust potential. There's less projection with like how David Bailey's going to go than in comparison to Arvel Reese. So, you know, if Aaron Glenn drafted Arvel Reese, he better be sure that he can develop because the developing needs to happen. You go David Bailey, it's a safer pick, high probability for a hit rate, and, you know, maybe why they were willing to trade away Jermaine Johnson to the Titans. They knew all along. They had our guy, man. I guarantee when that trade happened, they knew David Bailey was their guy. I guarantee it. Who do you think they will take? Love? Who, the Cardinals? That would be wild. I think that would be such a random pick. I think if you're a Cardinal fan, you might just get excited because, like, screw it. It's an exciting player. We just got a very good... You know, I don't know, blue chip gets thrown around a lot, but you'd assume Jeremiah Love would be a blue chip player in this year's class. So you take it at 3. You know, you fully commit to the run game. Like, is Marvin Harrison Jr. got to get... Oh, this guy's getting I don't know how to do that, but get the fuck out of the chat, bro. But the Cardinals have James Conner, Benson. Okay, well, I mean, when you look at that, though, like you have James Conner, so you have a veteran coming off an injury. James Conner being on the roster is not going to prevent you from drafting Jeremiah Love. Trey Benson's been whelming, to say the least, and he wasn't really a high-round draft pick. I think a lot of people are conflicted like when they drafted Trey Benson in fantasy football as a rookie. He was going pretty early. A lot of people were assuming he was going to be the guy. Benson fell in the draft. He wasn't really a crazy, you know, if we're going to be not ragging on the guy, Terry Benson coming out is nowhere near the player that Jeremiah Love is right now. Like, so I would get it. You know, you could go Maui Noah. I've been going tackle. Tackle makes sense. They could shock the world, go Ty Simpson or something outrageous here. Especially with Jacoby Brissett demanding more money. That'd be insane. Could trade down. I don't know who you'd be trading up for, though, right now. Like, what team would be trying to trade up to 3? Like, the only thing I can think of right now, looking at the teams, would be a team that wants to trade up for, like, Carnell Tate or something. Because, like, the only common position I see after this pick would be like, all right, Giants, Browns, Commanders, Saints, probably all want receivers. And they're going to be looking at Carnell Tates, the Jordan Tysons, maybe the Mekhi Lemons in that range. So if you're like one of the teams on the outside desperate for a wide receiver, I think that could be a team that trades up. But would you trade all the way up to 3 for any of those guys? Like, that seems very expensive. Kansas City, yeah, you're right. Kansas City. That would be the one. But I mean, I don't think. Well, I mean, that would go down to Kansas City really being interested in a wide receiver. I think like if the Chiefs are going to trade up, it would be for an edge rusher or something. Oh yeah, everybody, if you're here, like the stream. Let's get this. We need 6 more likes for 50 likes. That's a cool amount of likes. I also have a lot of people here. If I have, there may be a chance I need to dip in and out. Wouldn't be for long during the stream. If I'm ever off camera, I didn't leave. I didn't fall asleep. My brother's in the hospital, so I'm getting updates right now. It's like, oh, that's perfect. Not just my biggest yearly stream of the year. Brother's in the hospital. Phenomenal on the mentals all day long. So yeah, my mom might call me at a couple points here, and if I do, I'll be BRB. Going on, everybody? Well, yeah, everyone running the clock. Every team that's picking the top 5 just wants to be terrible next year. Could a team trade up? Could the Cardinals go Arvell Reese? Pick is in. Oh, your brother's doing okay. Yeah, last night was one of the worst nights of my life, and today was, at least positive, slightly positive news. So, yeah, man, fuck. Say, man, never. We can't bring the vibes down. But, this is my first time ever with, a cancer thing in my family. My close family, my immediate family. No grandparents or, very, very lucky on that front. Yeah, so it's, very, I don't know, it feels different. Thank you guys very much. We're chilling. I recorded a Yetis video. Kicking off the next season of the Yetis. It's coming out on Saturday. Just trying to balance it between all the draft uploads and stuff. And I got the news while I was recording. So literally, I don't know. I took a minute in the video just to talk for a little bit, just to vent a little bit. That's coming out on Saturday. Oh, thank you very much. Got me with the 199. Prayers to your family. I thank you. Appreciate it, man. All right, Cardinals selection. Who are we taking? Round 1, pick 3. Surprised they didn't trade down. Oh! Wow. Okay. Weird, cool. I mean, I guess not coming to the NFC East. That's a win. That's a weird pick, man. Are the Cardinals are running? That is Ashton Jeanty all over again. Can these bad teams? That's getting the tweet. That's getting the. Post it. Come on. Why? It's Ashton Jeanty again. Let's just put an electrifying player behind a dog shit offensive. I mean, okay. If we're going head to head right now, Cardinals offensive line right now, Raiders offensive line last year, who's coming out of that ahead? Right? You're probably giving at tackle, I'd go Raiders. I give Colton Miller over Paris Johnson, and Paris Johnson's probably the best thing they got in Arizona. Well, they got Halt Froholt. What's Halt Froholt doing for Jeremiah Love? Damn it! Why are we doing this? But yeah, thanks everybody for the messages you put my brother. Sucks, but hey, I was looking forward to this, man. The draft stream is always a fun time, but it's, I don't know, the weirdest thing to, I feel gross for saying it, but it's just like a distraction, like a needed distraction. And, yeah, happy we're all hanging out here tonight. As we got a very exciting... I mean, that's the first two picks. Did anyone really have Jeremiah Love, like in the mock drafts, go to the Cardinals at 3? Like, I'd seen him go to Tennessee. I've seen him go to the Giants. I've seen him fall. I've had him mock to the Commanders. We've seen... I don't know. He usually doesn't fall beyond that. I don't really think there's too many other teams I've seen get him in mock drafts. Maybe Minnesota, I guess, would probably be like his absolute floor. Jeremiah Love, man, that is weird, dude. I'm throwing out grades like A for Mendoza. I'd go A- for David Bailey. And then Jeremiah Love is just like C+, B-, C. Like, the player's an A+. You making this pick is an F. So what's the average? All right, for the Titans, the pick is in. Arvell Reese, you think? I think Robert Saleh liked what he saw there. Sonny Styles. I think this would be a very fun Sonny Styles where it's like, that's going to be my Fred Warner of the defense. Oh, that Carolina draft hat, or the Arizona draft hat, I don't mind that one. I don't think I've actually even seen the Eagles draft hat yet. That, it looks something like that. That could be all right. Got a pin in the top. It's a collectible. You think Tennessee goes Carnell Tate or Sonny Styles? I would say, yeah, I'd say it's, in my opinion, it'd be Sonny Styles or Arvell Reese. I don't know if the Titans would have assumed he'd still be here. Like, this would be the first pick, and they seem to get it in pretty quick. I don't know. Who knows literally what the actual clock's at? Not seeing it on the NFL Network broadcast. But I felt like the Titans made that pick pretty quick. Like, they definitely didn't run the clock down. When they're probably the first team that could have the argument to let the clock run down. No idea that Arvell Reese is going to be available. That throws a wrench into who they thought. But, man, that'd be interesting. The hell they said they found... Oh, my God, NFL Network's doing it. They just said, like, he has a heart murmur or something. Jeremiah Love has heart condition or something. What? I don't care. Show me some highlights. Show me hurdling people. I don't even care. I don't give... Like, oh, his blood pressure's high. All right, thanks for that segment, Ian Rappaport. Nerd. There was 2:40 left on their clock. I think for the Titans, that's progress. That's a progressive time. Okay, I'm gonna say for this, my prediction. Oh, I'm saying Sonny Styles. I'm saying Sonny Styles. I think it might be telling that the Jets canceled David Bailey's top 30 visit. Was that because Arvell Reese's visit was so bad? Like, is there going to be something where, like, Arvell Reese might still be on the clock at pick 8, and then they start scrambling, like, well, yeah, reports from whatever is that his interviews weren't the best. Could that happen? Is there Arvell Reese free fall happening? All right, here we go. Roger Goodell is coming out. Wow. Carnell Tate. Wow. Huh. Wow. I mean, hey, it's not, we haven't had our meeting of the franchise guys. So I can't, like, there's a 100% chance that it's not. But I'm leaning Tennessee for my rebuild team this year. For, like, our main franchise. And that, I'm all right with that pick. If I'm looking at it from that scope. I get it. You know, maybe there's other players available that it would be more top 5 picky than Carnell Tate. But if you have him evaluated as the safest wide receiver in this year's class, that's a legitimate first-round wide receiver, which I think like that's my description for him. Amen at it. Well, that's my thing here, man. That's my vibe right now. Is like, why is they're gonna start talking about the broadcast? Why is Arvell Reese falling? And I think it could be like in an interview bat. Hey, like that happens. Players take it. We saw Mekhi Levin at the combine just looking like an absolute weirdo. Like that's gonna like why like what agent like didn't sit him down and be like, hey man, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions to see how you look at during this process. What are these guys doing? But yeah, I am leaning Titans franchise, but I think it could be a popular team for other people to maybe consider. So I'm not going to be able to lock that in yet. But if I get my way, I would love Tennessee. I haven't even really thought of a backup to be honest with you. Maybe Miami. So you got the Giants on the clock. I think New York. The pick is in. I was gonna say I think they absolutely could trade back right now. Some team has Arvell Reese as their top player. There's gonna be a team picking in this year's class that has Arvell Reese number 1. So that team could be calling like crazy right now. Obviously, it would have to be with the Browns. Like I mean, Arvell Reese could go to the Commanders. I could see them looking for some pass rush help. Oh my God! Hey, Titan fans, what's going on? We got Timmy the mod. I've only had to ban one spam guy so far. Pretty good, and it wasn't even a cool spam guy. Like, hey, look at my porn site. It was look at my mock draft phishing scam. But yes, final point. Would love to go Tennessee. I would absolutely get an Alec Ayumanor jersey in the blue. Powder blue. I'd get that hat. Man, I gotta figure out, man, I want to be Tennessee. I would wear the shit out of that draft hat. All right, the Giants pick is in. What are we thinking here for New York? It's not going to be Arvell Reese. I don't think they're literally just going to keep drafting linebackers. Could they go Maui Noah? Right tackle? Could they go Caleb Downs? Broncos fan relaxing today. Enjoy Jalen Waddle. Enjoy your first round pick that you know is going to at least be pretty good. The Chiefs have traded up. Is this a refresh? Do I need to refresh this? Come on, NFL Network. Giants, Sonny Styles. Yeah, I'd say Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs. I think that's probably where I'd be leaning right now. Did they have is there a guy they like here for Javon Dexter or not Javon? Dexter Lawrence? Do they love Caden McDonald? You know, is this a Caden McDonald spot at pick 5 of the 2026 NFL draft? Down Styles or Reese. I just don't know why they would go Reese. Are they giving up on Abdul Carter already? Is there a Kayvon Thibodeau trade coming up? Is there also a Brian Burns trade coming up that I don't know about? So I would say 5. I don't know. Now I could take this as a NFC East fan. Like, who would I be the most annoyed? Like, there's plenty of funny meme players that this ends up being like a terrible pick or like a what the fuck, that's way too high to draft a player. I would say as an Eagle fan, Sonny Styles would definitely be like an annoying player because if he hits his ceiling, they're just getting a superstar linebacker that we're going to see twice a year. Sonny Styles would be annoying. Caleb Downs would be annoying. I think like Mansour Delane, if that was like a crazy pick. You know, I think he's top corner in the class. That'd be annoying that they get that much better at that position. All right, there we go. The Chiefs traded up. Does it show the trade? What was the compensation there? Trades down to 9. 9 and what? Anyone that's on social media have the compensation? Can I click it? It'll tell me? Of course it won't tell me. Come on, NFL.com. You think Kayvon Thibodeau's going to... But still, would you go Arvell Reese to be like edge 3? You don't really want... Unless, like, they get creative with them. Like, he did play linebacker. He could be like how the Eagles use Jahad Campbell. Where it's like, all right, Arvell Reese doesn't have that skill set, but somewhat similar comp there. Where it's like, no one knew if Jahad Campbell was going to be primary pass rusher, an off-ball linebacker... Different body of work than Arvell Reese, but like Reese has that athleticism. Like maybe you could use him like, Andrew Van Ginkel kind of deal. Come on, make the pick. This is bullshit. This is up. We're half hour in, man, and we're 5 picks. I got shit to do. I got to work on a modded roster so that this whole thing gets ready for Madden. Matt with the 974.48. For the trade-up, so what's that? A 1-3 and change? Oh, we got kids out here. Great. It's something sad. God bless them. And I don't say that sarcastically, even though I'm not religious. Hate seeing it. I mean, you hate you like seeing. You know what I'm saying? Got to make it visible. You want to support the causes, but it's always just like it's like that. Man, when you see like sick kid commercials, like I get it. You gotta tug at the heartstrings to help people remember what's important and donate and stuff. But I want to hate this pick, but there's kids out there. Taps, that actually is the thing. That's the name of the company. Let's go, guys. Don't butcher his name. I want this to work out for you. What, Arvell Reese? What? Man, bring Abdul Carter back to Philly. Damn it. Post it. Fuck. Got the check mark and everything. Post my goddamn thoughts, computer. But I actually wonder what Bengals' reaction is to that pick. That would be... I would love to see that. Anyone have the clip? I mean, I don't know. I could see him like turning this around and like you just have to take the best player available. I don't know. I that's really weird, but it's really weird. That is, but I don't know. Like it's one of those ones. If in 3 years Arvell Reese is starting and is up to his ceiling and he's double-digit sacks, no one's going to give a shit about the perspective of this pick right now. And he has the potential to do that. So with that respect being shown as an Eagle fan, like, all right, Dave, they got a dangerous player. You have to question, like, is that the right spot for your roster to go edge? How did you not have anybody else evaluate it, similar value at a different position you actually needed? So Kansas City's on the clock next at 6. So they didn't trade up for Arvell Reese. That was kind of an like, ooh, what do you think? Ruben Bain? The pick is in for Kansas City. Is it Ruben Bain? Wow, man. Sonny, stop. Would Kansas City actually go? Don't they have Nick Bolton and Tranquil at linebacker? Aren't they good at linebacker? Good at LB? Who would Kansas City be trading up for now? Like, Reese made sense. Like, couldn't they stay at 9 and get Ruben Bain? It's like, assuming he would be the next pass rusher. You think they traded up for Caleb Downs? Like, are they desperate enough to go Mansour Delane, like to replace Trent McDuffie as fast as they can? Kansas City said they want to get Maui Noah at 6. I mean, I get it. That would make sense, but like, why? I don't think you have to trade up to get those guys. I don't think Washington is going tackle in the first round. I don't think New Orleans is going tackle in the first round. They did it last year with Flaga. And then you're there. Like, unless you were worried like the Browns were going to take who you wanted, like, then why would the Browns make that trade? Man, that Giants draft hat also kind of sick looking. Bengal loves it. A linebacker that can get pressured at the quarterback. Yeah. He's Jahad Campbell. Arvell Reese is a Jahad Campbell this year, and you can get very creative with how you want to utilize him. But I don't know, man. That's still a Rappaport on broadcast saying Mansour Delane, Maui Noah, or Mansour Delane seems like what NFL Network's trying to spam here. Look at all those Chief fans. Half of them have been fans since Mahomes has been there. Only. Pick is in. Let's go. Kansas City, pick 6. Trading up. Not a crazy amount, honestly, to trade up, but they trade up nonetheless. Wow. Delayed. That's, you trade Trent McDuffie in a third round pick. Trent McDuffie in a third round pick for Mansour Delane on a rookie contract. Is that like how you pretty much could view that trade? That ain't bad, man. That ain't bad. I ain't mad at that one bit. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, man. I like that. I'm going to be honest. I think 6 is a little rich for Delane. 6 is rich for any corner. It's the perspective and reality of this draft class not being a crazy draft class. Like, that's kind of what's hurting this. Where it's like, it's so rare for a corner to go this high. And, like, is Mansour Delane the corner prospect that deserves to actually go this high? It's like, no, probably not, looking over the last couple years. But in relation to this class, like, yeah, 6 totally makes sense. I feel like the same kind of vibes with like David Bailey, same kind of vibes with like Mendoza. It's just like not. It's just you compare this draft class and you really understand. It's like, all right, it's not the strongest draft class. All right, Washington, the pick is in at 7. This could be Jordan Tyson. I think this could be Maui Noah. I mean, look at their needs. That could like Tyson, Maui Noah, Caleb Downs, Ruben Bain. All those guys would be annoying. I'll tell you what. You can go Maui Noah. I think Maui Noah would be the one I live with. I would much rather. I don't know. I think you gotta help out Jaden Daniels. I don't know if. I don't know. It's an interesting spot. What do you guys think for Washington? Assuming you didn't see a spoiler on social media. You think the Browns are going to end up pairing Myles Garrett with Ruben Bain? That'd be nasty. That would certainly help Myles Garrett try to re-break his sack record because he won't be able to get double-teamed all the time. Either that or watch Ruben Bain break the rookie sack record because everyone's still just shutting down Myles Garrett. Man, Mansour Delaney. I remember he was like a transfer at Virginia Tech. Was it Virginia Tech or Virginia? I think it was Virginia Tech. I love that, dude. That's like the other LSU guy, AJ Halsey, safety. You've been on your mock draft tip. You probably have seen or heard or thought about drafting him to the Eagles because we really need a safety if we don't go on the first round. Second round can make a lot of sense. And same kind of vibes, man. Mansour Delaney makes the transfer up to LSU, still plays at, that's the big thing. When you make the jump up to one of the big boy schools, yeah, you're good, big fish, little pond at a small school. When you transfer, we've seen plenty of transfers, hype transfers, not pan out. They can't make that jump up in competition. But I feel like when you do, like that is a big time green check mark for me. Like vibes on you as a prospect. Delane did that, and AJ Halsey, the safety, did that. He was a big time player at Houston. Goes a year at LSU, pops off. But that is day 2 talk. Which plan is everything's fluid now, not in the personal life with my brother. Plan will be to stream tomorrow night as well, second and third round. Well, as a father of 2, no way I could stream on Saturday. That'd be a very tough sell to the family. And then we're going to see the Mario movie on Sunday, hopefully. All right, Washington. I would say please be Maui Noah. Would be more annoying if this is Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles or Ruben Bain. Why is Lynn Swann and Jerome Bettis announcing the Commanders pick? Just make the fucking pick. So this, again, Maui Noah is best case. Worst case, Caleb Downs. Worst case, Ruben Bain. Sonny Styles. Okay. Yeah. Would have loved Sonny Styles not to be in the NFCs. Make the pick. Make the post. Let my fucking, come on, Elon. Sonny Styles at 7. Wow. That is, well, again, blue chip player. It's Jeremiah 11-3 to Arizona. If you don't think there's that many good players in this class, and sure, you could use that player upgrade, why not? Sonny Styles. That's, hell, he hits his ceiling. That's an annoying player to have to deal with in the division for the next decade. I have more confident that he's to develop into like an all-pro than he would be like the next Isaiah Simmons. So I would say generally a little annoyed. Annoyed, not like a terrifying, like Arvell Reese going to the Giants. You respect the upside, but you're kind of like, that's kind of, really, you're going edge rush again? Okay, maybe not the best pick for the Giants, but terrifyingly good player potentially. I think Sonny Styles a little more, okay, I can see the vision, what he's going to bring as a player and understanding his ceiling if he does become the next Fred Warner game changer. Gonna make it difficult to work the middle of the field and run the ball on the Commanders now. Like if I was throwing a letter grade, I'd be like Arvell Reese, B-, and that's the player doing a lot of heavy lifting on that one. Player Val over like team smartness of pick. I'd say Arvell Reese, B-, Sonny Styles would be like B+. B+, A-, somewhere in that range. Damn. I like that pick. Man, I like these picks so far. Like these last couple ones. I like that one. Mendoza, obviously it is what it is. David Bailey made sense. Like, I don't love Jeremiah Love going to a bad team. I'm sick and tired of good running backs going to bad teams. Carnell Tate to the Titans. It's interesting enough that that's a cool pick. Arvell Reese falling. Whoever picked him was going to be interesting. Weird pick though. I'm not terrified of that pick, but again, not to just keep harping on it, I respect the upside. If Arvell Reese and Abdul Carter in 5 years from now are just terrorizing defenses, I don't necessarily want my negative comments to age poorly because I believe that could happen. There's a possibility. But I love Delane. I love Kansas City. I don't love Delane at 6. I don't love the idea of getting a corner that's not a generational corner, like near a top 5 pick. But given the players available and given the idea that this is Trent McDuffie, knowing that you don't want to pay Trent McDuffie. So you're trading an unhappy, disgruntled Trent McDuffie in a third-round pick to get Mansour Delane, the top corner in the class. I like the business from Kansas City. So I'll give that like a strong A. And I'd give Sonny Styles B+. I don't know if a linebacker is the missing piece for the Commanders, but I think if he hits his ceiling, who gives a shit? He's going to be one of the best linebackers in the league. You take that pick every time. Saints pick is in. Is this Jordan Tyson? Am I going to go back to my OG? I always had that pick in my mock drafts. I think I had 3 mock drafts in a row where I was like, the Saints are going to be cool with his medicals, and they're going to get Tyson to complement Chris Olave. Could they go Mekhi Lemon? Could they go Ruben Bain? Ruben Bain's still on the board. They got Cam Jordan, who's undersized generally for a defensive lineman. Would they not care with Ruben Bain? Chooch, you're genuinely shocked the Dolphins didn't try to move up. I really thought they would. Well, do you think the Dolphins somehow think that Caleb Downs or something's still going to be there? I know Mansour Delane was a popular Dolphins mock draft pick, but if Caleb Downs is there at 11, you go, okay. Jordan Tyson at 11, I could see that. I think one of the big mock drafts had Miami going Jordan Tyson. Sucks you can't go top corner in Delane. You're probably not getting McCoy here. I've seen a lot of people talking about his injuries. Maybe pushing him out of the first round like Will Johnson last year. But yeah, if they think that Maui Noah or Caleb Downs is going to be there at 11 and that's their guy, just be patient. Who do we think for the Saints here? I don't know if we got any Saint fans in chat. Saints are usually pretty well represented on the channel. Back when I used to actually make Eagles videos on this channel, which I still do over on the second channel. Go check it out. There was so many times I would just start fighting with Saint fans for some reason on any video. And it was a good time. C4, I would draft Ione Vega if I were the Finns. That would be a safe pick at guard, but yeah, if you're just going we suck at drafting, let's go with the pick that will least likely blow back on us as a bust selection. Vega is probably that next guy on the clock right now. Him and Caleb Downs. You think Ruben Bain to the Saints? Pass rush. Makes sense. Jordan or Maui Noah to the Saints. I gotta throw a pick. I gotta throw a prediction here. I think the name that steps out. If it's offense, it's Jordan Tyson. If it's defense, it's Ruben Bain. I think it's gonna be between one of those two. But who it is, that's all about how the Saints evaluate it. I would go 60-40 Ruben Bain, Jordan Tyson for the Saints pick. Jermod McCoy could go to the Saints. Yeah, I mean, if you're a team that is perfectly good with the medical, and you're like, this guy is the corner we saw in 2024 at Tennessee, could absolutely be Jermod McCoy. He's kind of the wild card for me at pick 23 for the Eagles, to be honest with you. Jermod McCoy's there. I don't know if Howie has PTSD from when we drafted Sidney Jones coming off the injury, and love that pick. So bummed that pick never worked out for Philly. But Jermod McCoy could be that one guy where they're like, all right, we need another corner. Tariq Woolen's only here for a 1-year rental. We're treating it the same way that we treated, the Jalen Phillips deal. Like, it's clearly mutually 1 year. Then, you get McCoy in the building. You can redshirt him. Don't have to rush him, throw him on the field to start right away, which would be most beneficial for, obviously still working back from the injury. That's my number one, wild card pick I'd be all right with. So for my pick here for the Saints, I'm going Ruben Bain, 60-40. Ruben Bain, 40% Jordan Tyson. Watch it be neither. How are we still not out of the top 10? It is 1 hour in. 10 picks an hour is gross. The hell is going on? They just keep showing the crowd. Make the damn pick. Why are they cheering Roger Goodell? He just called them the Slaints. He just said the New Orleans Slaints select Jordan Tyson. So either Roger Goodell is, I'm not going to say anything negative. I don't want to ruin any opportunities to work with the NFL, work for the Shield. But man, he reads at a grade 3 level. Jordan Tyson goes pick it. I've been right. That's been one of my consistent, if I take the average of all my mock drafts, most common pick. I had Jordan Tyson going to the Saints a whole bunch. Ain't mad at it. I saw the vision, completely understand. Jordan Tyson hits. And the Saints are okay with the medical. You need to, you have a win now rookie quarterback in Tyler Shough. Tyler Shough is so old. This is his prime right now. You're entering his prime. Put the best possible help our offense right now. Not project guy, not a guy that'll be good 2 years from now, not a guy that maybe kind of could be good. As long as Jordan Tyson's healthy, him and Chris Olave are going to be pretty damn good. Great weapons for Tyler Shough for that Saints offense to be a lot more competitive next year. I like that pick. That's an A. That's an easy A. I can't go A+ because, you still have to be can we give an A+ for there's a clear and obvious injury concern. So, there's risk potential. Wasn't the safest pick the Saints could take, but I definitely like that, man. That is very nice. A pick, A grade for me from the Saints. What do you guys think? I like Tyson, man. He's sick. Browns are gonna go Ruben Bain. Yeah. Browns. I mean, are we on? It's way too early to be on Ty Simpson watch, isn't it? Let me just have a little quick snack here. I don't know if you guys have these chips. These chips are unreal. Hoops. Frito Hoops Barbecue. Oh, incredible. These I think they're from the States. New to Canada. Oh, incredible. Man, I love that pick for Saints. That's a sick pick. Desmond Monroe Freeling to the Browns. Could this be Caden Proctor? I would say, yeah, look at the needs for the Browns. Look at the board for the Browns. We got like a best player available option here. Prospects. What's this saying? Wow, that looks great. That's nice and glitchy. So we got Ruben Bain, Maui Noah. They have Caleb Downs, Kyle Lemon, Kenyon Sadiq, Caden Proctor, Fano, Keldrick Falk, Vega Ione. Probably everybody that could realistically be in play for the Browns. Let's see it, dude. I have no idea. Ruben Bain, yeah, is that what the Browns need, though? I feel like the Browns need offense. But if you just, bad draft class, truly go best player available, that could absolutely be Ruben Bain. And the idea of him and Myles Garrett is pretty scary. I just don't know how much better that defense can get, that it still can offset how bad your offense is. I think that would be my argument. Like, unless you think you can hold every offense you play to under 14 points a game, you're going to lose a lot. Like, you got to go something on offense, something that's building around getting that offense right for when they can actually draft their franchise quarterback next year, whenever that ends up being. Or they make a trade for a better quarterback. So I think there's got to be. I'd say if this ends up being defense, it's going to negatively affect I'm going to shave off like a point. Like that, if they go defense, that could be the difference between like an A and a A minus, or an A minus and a B plus, somewhere in that range. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, I think given the board, the better players are on the defensive side of the ball. So let's see what the Browns are doing. Pick 9, Roger Goodell walking out there. This felt like a somewhat quicker pick, but I just think they're so far behind that just feels that way. Cleveland Browns select Spencer Fano from Utah. I don't think there's a huge discrepancy between him and Maui Noah for this year's top tackle. Like, if I was throwing a Madden rating on it, like, I would say, like, Maui Noah is a 77 and Fano's a 75. Both same dev trait kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? Not in utter shock that, like, some teams might prefer Fano than Maui Noah. Maui Noah does have some, like, wingspan, arm length concerns that Fano does not carry. But, hey, I think they had to go offense. I give this like a strong B. I think the best player they had on their board offensively, like, that is where you had to go at 9 versus just continuing to stack up talent on the defensive side of the ball. And you put the pieces together here, man, when you eventually have a quarterback. I would love to see the Browns be aggressive and go, you know, that was the pick they traded, right? Yeah, so they still have 24. Double up on offense. Go offense again at 24. Put those pieces in place. So the Giants have picked 10. Maui Noah does seem pretty obvious. The Giants are... Dang. I want to have that queued up. Maui Noah, okay. Nice pick. Leading with Arvo, Reese, and Maui Noah. That's not a terrible haul. Well done. Well done, Harbaugh. You got your 2 tackles figured out. You got... I don't know. You gotta have, like, reinvent the defensive front to find a way to have Arvo Reese and all those other guys on the field at the same time. But hey, You got two very good players. Like if you're just power ranking players and talent acquired by the Giants, they have, you know, very appropriately maximized the value of pick 5 and pick 10 in relation to talented player that they have coming in. All right, Dallas is on the clock. I would have liked New York at this spot though to like take someone that Dallas clearly wanted. Like it would have been awesome for New York to go Caleb Downs there. You know, I think that's gonna be the pick for Dallas. I would love this to be like a Keldrick Falk or something, but I'd be very very surprised if this isn't Caleb Downs. Oh, you know, there's Caleb Downs, Ruben Bain. Yeah, Bain could go to Dallas. So weird though, man. I've never been from like a afraid standpoint of what the team's gonna bring. The Eagles' offensive line has been so good. I haven't given a single shit. Like when they got the Giants got Abdul Carter last year, I was like, no, we got Lane Johnson, we got Jordan. We're good. Don't care. I don't care what good edge rusher you have. We're good. We're gonna shut them down. They're not gonna make plays. So if Dallas does go Ruben Bain here, it's like, all right, damn, that's a great pick, an annoying pick that he fell to you. You didn't get to trade up to get him. But I don't. I'm not really concerned about what Ruben Bain's going to do to the Eagles' offensive line. I think I'd be a little more like I'd be more annoyed if they got Caleb Downs first, but Ruben Bay would be right below him. Like S tier, I hate that pick. Caleb Downs, A tier, Ruben Bain. Could they do like Jermod McCoy? Could they go? What's the guard situation there? I have no idea who the Cowboys guards are right now. Tyler Smith at left guard. Right guard is what? Cooper Beebe's center. Like, who's their right guard right now? Like, could they go Vagaglione? Just hit a safe pick. Dallas trading up though. I mean, that's. I don't think you trade up for Caleb Downs. I'm going to be honest. Seeing that they traded up, I'm going to change my prediction to that's probably Ruben Bain. I don't think you're trading up for. The way that they were celebrating there, that's like the kind of celebration you do when you just got a guy who thinks a franchise pass rusher. If I'm going to be honest, Kenyon Sadiq would be funny. That would not be funny. I like. I need Kenyon Sadiq to fall past 14. If the Ravens don't go Kenyon Sadiq, I think I'm going to be pretty happy with who the Eagles pick at 23. And if you are just waiting for like who's going to be the player that I'm going to be very upset if doesn't fall to the Eagles, given the board right now, it is Kenyon Sadiq. If someone drafts him, things are about to be said. Man, Shane Gillis with the Bud Light commercial during the draft. Congrats. We got any Shane Gillis heads in chat? We got any Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast Old Testament fans in chat? Man, he's the number one comedian I want to see. I've luckily been able to see like all my favorite comedians in my life. They visit my town. No Shane Gillis. Been bummed out. Saw Bill Burr a couple times. Love that. I saw Jim Jeffries a couple times. Love that. I was sick. Daniel Tosh came here. That was cool. What's up, everybody? We are hoping the Eagles trade up soon for some fun content. We're reacting to the draft. It's been quite the draft. Did I see when Cody Rhodes visited Lemaire? Yeah, it looked like a Make-A-Wish. I hate that guy, though. Of all the people in the Shane Gillis verse. I wouldn't say hate, just like, dude, he's just... I get it, though. I get what a Lemaire is in your, like, friend circle. Everyone has that Lemaire guy. I just think he shouldn't be on podcasts. Like, he could be the fun, sidekick guy. Not a main content guy. Like, he's a guest. Whatever. I'm not going to rant there. Didn't we just pay Dallas? We paid Dallas Goedert 1 year. He's back on a 1-year rental. And since we've been signing him to 1-year rentals, a.k.a. last year, he magically forgot how to block. So, I think a tight end is in need. So here we go with Dallas. I predict Ruben Bain. Would be very annoyed, though, if it's Ruben Bain or Caleb Downs. Please be something random. Please be a classic Jerry Jones pick. But I think Ruben Bain. Hope not Caleb Downs. Pick is in. The 11th pick. Caleb Downs. Damn. I mean, I literally had someone when I talked about. I'm not going to put him on blast. I did a power rankings for like who I wanted, and then some guy was like, "No way, Caleb Downs falls past top 10." I was like, dude, like some of the smart podcast draft guys are like, he's going to Dallas at 12 at whatever his spot. Whether we at 12 all the time now. Dang. That's annoying. Man, that's a hell of a player. They just got, you're in the discussion of the very short list of blue chip caliber players in this year's class. And if you lower your standards a little bit to get a couple blue chip guys from this class, which I think, is a knock on the talent here. Caleb Downs certainly fits that bill. So that means Caleb Downs, Maui Noah, Sonny Styles, and Arvell Reese have joined. How does so many NFC East teams have first-round picks like this? What the hell? Like, most of the picks in the draft in the top 10 have been NFC. What are we doing here, guys? Can you guys stop sucking so you can stop getting good players? Toasted, thoughts on Spencer Fano? I think that is a very interesting... I'd love to hear why they like him more than Maui Noah. And I think my argument to this, my vibes on this is I think if the Browns at 9 drafted Maui Noah, I don't think the Giants would have went Fano at 10. You know what I'm saying? I think the Giants were like, yes, they didn't take Maui Noah. That's kind of my vibes on the Spencer Fano pick. But I don't think there's a huge discrepancy. Toasted, my comp was just throw a Madden in it because I've been working on draft classes. Like, Maui Noah is like a 77 star, and then Fano's a 75 star. I don't think there's a huge gap. I just, you watch Maui Noah and what he did during that playoff run for Miami, most important, like the biggest stage against the top pass rushers, just bullying everybody. I think that translates pretty well. Alrighty, we have the Miami Dolphins up. I mean, this has to be Ruben Bain. Right? Like, their secondary sucks, but, like, you're not... I think you can't go risky, or you couldn't go like a Jamad McCoy if you're that desperate for a corner. If you're looking at wide receivers, do you like Makai Lemon here? It's like, all right, you can kind of do the Jalen Waddle thing. I would say Ruben Bain needs to be the selection there for Miami. Retool that pass rush a little bit. You traded away Bradley Chubb. Gamble at the new set of eyes, the new defensive minds that's coming into that building can figure out Chop Robinson, and you get Chop to be an ascending player, and you get your two pass rushers. You get Ruben Bain, Chop Robinson. You hope they can terrorize the league for the next decade. Dylan Thieneman? You think they would go Dylan Thieneman at 12? They would ruin my chance at Exciting Whites 2.0 by taking a safety at 12. That's not, Caleb Downs for going to the top 15. You think if Baltimore can get Ruben Bain, you think that's who Raven fans right now, pulse on the Ravens fans, they are just holding their breath? That Ruben Bain's going to fall a couple spots? All I heard, though, from social medias was Philly was supposed to be trading up, apparently. That's not happening. And I'm leaning more towards Philly not picking tonight and moving that pick. Oh, shit, the pick happened. No! Well, I missed it. I wasn't looking. I was looking at the screen here. Caden Proctor at pick 12 to the Dolphins. So, dude, does Howie Roseman trade up for Ruben Bain? How you spell Ruben Bain? R-E something. Fuck it. R-U-E-B-E-N. Okay. Well, love to hear Dolphin fan. I mean, for me as an Eagle fan, I talked about the top before we started the stream. I was asked, what are my thoughts of Caden Proctor potentially the Eagles? Offensive line for the Eagles at 23. And I said, of all the linemen, Caden Proctor would be the one I'd be the most like, all right, because he can start out at guard. He can add right away to the right guard competition. We have to get better on the offensive line across the board, and he wouldn't be a redshirt pick. Now that he is gone at pick 12 as an Eagle fan, slightly more worried, because if they do consider tackle, it's probably going to be one I don't love. Like, I would, from a biased Eagle, I would love, like, Freeling to go. Maybe to the Lions. I'd love Freeling to get off the board. I'd love a team just to, like, shockingly go, like, Max Iheanacho or something. Like, those, like, Doomsday, we're not quite into the range where I can start throwing out Doomsday picks for the Philadelphia Eagles, where, like, I'm going to lose my mind. But, like, Denzel Boston, Max Iheanacho, those would be Keldrick Falk would be trending towards that. At least with Keldrick Falk, I see the upside. I understand the ceiling. I understand that's just, how you have to let Howie every now and again just do what Howie does. Maybe not take best player, but just stick to what and like Keldrick Falk would be a Howie Roseman pick. All right, the Rams pick is in. They're showing some sort of like 1920s clip here. Rams should take Makai Lemon. I agree. Now to get back on this pick. Pick 13, given the board, I would absolutely consider Makai Lemon. Veg Ione, potentially, but I think Makai Lemon makes some sense. Maybe you get a little too much overlap with how they want to utilize Puka Nacua. Like, A lot of similarities to the game. You're not necessarily trying to like flush out like a full complementary wide receiver core. But like in a vacuum, Mekhi Lemon seems like a guy that would obviously thrive in a McVay system. Does a lot of the dirty work, works in the middle of the field, yards after catch. Very tough, very physical. Draws a lot of comps to Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's kind of consensus amongst like a lot of the scouting sites, and you just watch him play, you see it. So it's unreal that Bain is falling this far. It's it's short arm pass rushers, man. He's got to take a team. I mean, I would be shocked if he fell past Tampa at 15. Absolutely shocked that happened. Eagles pick's going to be a good one. What do you think? What's your prediction right now? No one's really gone. I guess Caden Proctor and Jordan Tyson are like the only two players that have gone that have like even been within the stratosphere of consideration for the Eagles potentially. Like if you've just been a mock draft simulator psycho like myself. All right, the Rams pick is in. The Ravens are on the clock. We're in commercial break. I'm gonna take a little drinky poo. But I would say for the Rams, Mekhi Lemon would be a cool pick. Who else? They're not going to show the pick. It's during commercial. Ruben Bain, I probably wouldn't. I don't think they go Kenyon Sadiq, just because they got Terrence Ferguson, was like a high pick for them last year. Vega Ione could make sense. I don't think they'd fall in love with like anyone else. But from here until the Eagles pick, I'd love to see like a Max Iheanacho, ladies and gentlemen, to come off the board. So Howie does not have that temptation. That's what we're looking for. Man, what's going on with that Mike Vrabel thing? I thought they did that press conference and he was gonna step down. Like it felt like a pro wrestling segment. It was like, all right, like literally every time he paused, it was like, and I'm resigning. And like say, I'm resigning. It's like no, it's like I'm gonna go to therapy 3 times. I'm gonna be a man of faith, and everyone's gonna forget about it. Okay, cool. All I know is Philly better get some tampering charge compensation from this bullshit. Ian Rappaport is gassing up Ty Simpson here? No way. No way. That's just a media guy. You think the Rams could go Ty Simpson here, pick 13? Can we make the goddamn pick? Why would Baltimore draft Sadiq when they have Andrews and Kolar? I think Kolar went in free agency somewhere, like L.A. And I mean, Mark Andrews get up there in age. Like it's probably not too. You had it with Isaiah Likely, and you just Andrews kind of held on a little longer than you thought. But I can see Baltimore would absolutely, if Sadiq's there, that'd be a smart pick. I'm going to say I think Baltimore at 14. I think they would go Vega Ione before Ruben Bain. But man, Ty Simpson to the Rams would be pretty wild. Like that's what this draft needs right now is the Rams to go Ty Simpson. Mike Vrabel seeking counseling will miss day 3 of the NFL draft. That's wild. All right, the pick is in. Let's see it. Rams selection. Really have no idea who they could go, who they're actually going to go here. Could be anyone. First big wild card pick. What? Ty Simpson. What? Wow. Wow, dude. That is nuts. Wow. I have a buddy who's a Rams fan. I'd love to hear his opinion right now. I'm thinking if I go picks, I'm gonna say just 14 Ione, 15 Ruben Bain would be like my next two picks. Ties. That's gonna be fun for a replay. I mean, you put it in Madden context, right? Just to simplify here a little bit. Like you might have Ty Simpson as a dev trait quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You know Matt Stafford is got one more year. He's one and done. So if you know you got a dev trait quarterback in your midst, and you know that with Stafford at the helm, you're probably gonna be picking way too far next year down to get a good quarterback. Do you take here's a hypothetical? I'm gonna throw it out here. Would you draft a 69 rated dev trait quarterback, the only other one in this class? Right now, guarantee it, knowing that you only have one. You have 1 year Stafford. You can be the understudy Stafford. You're gonna be able to redshirt him, but you know you're getting that 69 dev trait quarterback in your lap right there, and it's your free pick. It's your pick that you got from last year's draft. Or are you gambling that your pick next year, that's probably going to be in the 20s, is going to net you? Are you going to be able to find that dev trait quarterback in the 20s? Are you going to be willing to pay what it's going to cost to take a huge jump up, likely into the top 10? From whatever you're picking in 20s to go get a quarterback. You know, I get it, dude. That would be my Madden analogy for that pick. It's kind of weird. It's kind of fun. It's kind of, in a way, it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of makes sense. Like consensus is Ty Simpson's the second best quarterback in this class, and I don't think there's a decent gap between Ty Simpson and then the next quarterbacks. Even though there's some fun QBs. Some fun gambles, Taylor Green, Drew Aller. You know, it was Ty Simpson in an absolute cliff if you're looking to find like a higher hit rate quarterback. But I mean, I am not a Ty Simpson fan. Full bias, dude. How many games did Alabama lose last year? However, it was like 3 or 4 games, and those were the only 3-4 games I bet on them. Every time I bet on Alabama last year, they lost, and Ty Simpson was complete dog shit. And I was like, I am biasly going to hold this betting slump with Alabama and how bad he was against him for at least the first 3 years of his career. So, not a big Ty Simpson fan, but I think it's a fun pick for the Rams to make with their free pick. And, you end this draft with Ty Simpson and Trent McDuffie in the first round. Oh, I didn't see his mother. He is a hot mom. Is Ty Simpson worth a late first, early second in a dynasty pick? I mean, I don't really know the 100% value of I've only ever done a dynasty draft once, and it was years ago. So I just couldn't even grasp who the players that would be going in the first round of like an 8-man or 10-man league. But, in terms of, drafting rookies, the potential heir quarterback to a Sean McVay offense is definitely something I would consider more of a lottery ticket, because obviously you're going to have to park it for a year or hope that Matt Stafford has an injury. But I think that'd be a somewhat smart pick for sure. Like, I would rather, in a dynasty league, I'd rather already have my quarterback in place and then, have the luxury of taking Ty Simpson so that you can trade him to maybe a QB-needy team if he does pop off. I think I'd rather that scenario than, hoping that Ty Simpson, your quarterback situation sucks, and you hope that, 2027, Ty Simpson's your QB1. All right, Baltimore's pick is in at 14. I think Vega Ione. I think the offensive line, the Hog Mollies, is where you got to go. However, new defensive head coach. Would he see Ruben Bain still being available at 14 as too much to leave on the board? But I think the next pick, I think Baltimore goes Vega Ione. I think Tampa Bay goes Ruben Bain. Let's see it, Baltimore. The Baltimore Ravens select Vega Ioane. Let's go. I mean, that's... Okay, let's check. That, for me, for biasly, the first hurdle for Kenyon Sadiq to fall to the Eagles. I think it's a good pick. Baltimore, safe pick. There you go. Super safe pick. When you have Lamar Jackson in place, got to have a really, really strong offensive line. Vega Ione, day one starter, right guard, gigantic, almost immeasurable upgrade over Daniel Faalele. That's just Baltimore. That's Baltimore doing what Baltimore does. Like, that is an A+. That might be the first. I think I'll give Dallas, like, if I'm, okay, any A+ is here. I don't know if you can give the Raiders getting Mendoza an A+, because like that, literally you're just throwing that grade there because they didn't trade the pick. So like A+ would be, yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, Caleb Downs and Vega Ione would probably be the only two A+ right now. I think Maui Noah at 10 was a good pick for the Giants. I like Tyson going there. I like Delane going there. But for Baltimore, it's just Baltimore, just always just slam dunk, boom, shakalaka, A to A+ draft picks every fucking year. Very annoying. Very annoying to have a front office and franchise that's equally as well ran as the Philadelphia Eagles for the most part. Even though our Super Bowls don't have dust on them. Baltimore, when they win? 2014 or something? You can't be upset with an O-line pick for the Ravens. We already lost one of our best to the Raiders. Night Virus. Yep. I mean, it's not going to take over for Linderbaum, but the interior as a whole took a huge hit with him leaving, and you rebuff that up a little bit with Vega Ione. You patch that wall. Bucks. Like, we're saying Ruben Bain here? Bucks draft Bain or Mesidor. I think that would actually, that's a very interesting storyline, wouldn't it? Which, if Mesidor goes ahead of Bain for the two Miami pass rushers, that would certainly be a very interesting storyline. I would be very surprised if that does happen. Who was the slam dunk last year? Who? The Ravens? Yeah, they went Malachi Starks. That was, again, non-premium position, but like Malachi Starks as a prospect, which is like, oh yeah, of course he would fall to the Ravens. Chooch Ione, very cerebral, but I still think Bain should have been the pick. In 3 years, this pick will be the factor for wherever their franchise will be at. But does a Pro Bowl guard, or what does that do? What does that do for the team? Are there any good centers this year's class? I like Jake Slaughter biasly from Florida. He's good. Sam Hecht from Kansas State, like, tested pretty well. I think he's like an emerging center, probably more like a third, fourth rounder. I'm trying to think back to like the Beast. Very good scouting guy on the Athletic. There's another good one. I know there's Connor Lew from like Alabama, or not Alabama, from Connor Lew from Auburn. was another highly regarded one. Logan Jones from Iowa is a big-time athlete, was on Bruce Feldman's freaks list. But I think some of the scouts were a little bit lower on him. I've seen him be like a 5th, 6th round grade. It's not a strong center class, but like I would say Jake Slaughter probably number 1. So the Bucks, I'm thinking Bucks go Mr. Ruben Bain, and then we have the Jets. You guys are thinking the Jets could go Amari Cooper? I think the Jets, Makai Lemon's still on the board. That could be an easy run that pickup for the Jets. Makai Lemon and Garrett Wilson, that could be kind of cool. What, someone saying the Bucks should go wide receiver? Bucks wide receivers core is going to be Lemon, Omar Cooper, Sadiq. I mean, it wouldn't be the most shocking because they just lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin's coming off the injury. I don't think it would be wide receiver, but I mean, I think Makai Lemon would be the wide receiver that would go next, even Omar Cooper. But like both those guys could very well be slot wide receivers at the next level. And like I don't know if they'd be targeting a slot wideout at 15. Kenyon Sadiq at tight end. Did they just brought back Kate Otten on decent money. But definitely didn't bring back Kate Otten on enough money that they could rule out Kenyon Sadiq. But again, that is the player we want in free fall. And any team between the Bucks. Oh, I saw the pick. I called it! Ruben Bain! I called the one guy that's shockingly falling, going to the team that needs desperately a win-now edge rusher, but I sure shit called it. I thought that's probably one of those situations where Tampa was like, dude, we'll be happy with Mesidor here at 15. And then they're like, holy fuck, Ruben Bain's still here. That's even better. That's a good pick. A+. I'm throwing on another A+. Ruben Bain, with the concerns about short arm pass rush or whatever. Him at 15 is outstanding value for Tampa Bay. Very well done. I like that's I'm stoked if I'm a Bucks fan. Like in my opinion, edge was the number 1 position they had to go address. Or like maybe if Sonny Styles is there just to get your immediate Levante David replacement. That is wow. Big a time. Like who's your other pass rusher there in Tampa? Like they had Hassan Riddick there last year. Didn't they? And you got like Yaya Diaby. Like who's their go-to pass rusher right now in Tampa? I'm drawing a blank if there is one that exists. Lemon's going to go to the Jets. I think that would be the pick. If I'm the Jets, we can get on a run and picking them. I'm going to agree. I think Makai Lemon at 16. If I was doing the mock draft, let me confirm. This is a mock draft sim. I'm the Jets on the clock. We got Makai Lemon, Sadiq, Concepcion. Omar Cooper is there as well. I mean, it just makes too much sense that this is Makai Lemon. Oh, yeah, Vita Vea. Elijah Cansey, yeah, he'd be more of the pass rusher. Yeah, that's the guy I was probably kind of blanking on there. So the pick is in for the Jets. Kenyon Sadiq, potentially. I mean, yes, that could be... I don't know. Mason Taylor was a decent enough investment that I think it'd be much like the Rams. I doubt they'd go tight end, but 0 INTs last year. The Jets need a corner. Well, I mean, looking at the corners that are available, what are we thinking? Jermod McCoy, they're cool with the injury. I love Aaron Glenn. Just go fuck it. Give me D'Angelo Ponce from one undersized outside corner to another. I have Denzel Ponce as a first rounder in this year's draft, by the way. I've made that blatantly obvious by every time I drafted him in my Eagles mock drafts for the last month. Felt like we're going to take Simpson. They should have traded back with the Panthers or Vikings and taken capital. I mean, that's kind of thinking about this like it's a mock draft sim. Was there any teams really that obviously would be trying to trade up to get pick 13? Timmy with that Ponce follow the call. I mean, he could be like your next Kenny Moore. Next beloved, undersized, ridiculous corner. Pick is in for the Jets. I'm thinking Makai Lemon. Yeah, if they get Makai Lemon, leaving the draft with Makai Lemon and David Bailey, feeling pretty good. You're probably feeling almost as good. There'd be the question. Okay, assuming they go Makai Lemon here, would you rather leave this draft with Makai Lemon and David Bailey or with Francis Maui-Noa and Arvell Reese? That would be my question I'm proposing to you. All right, the Jets pick is in. Think of Makai Lemon. If I was Jets, I would go Makai Lemon. New York Jets select. Are we so fucking for real? Are we for real? What are we doing, Jets? Fuck! Oh, god damn it. Well, dream pick is gone. Fuck me. Oh, god damn it. God damn it, man. That is upsetting. Lions at pick 17. Tackle makes too much sense given the board of tackles that are available. Selfishly, as an Eagle, getting down to like the fact that we could also be in play for tackle, I'd rather them take the ones I don't love. So this is like a Max Iheanacho. Love to see a Max Iheanacho here. Fuck, man. Can I just think we're supposed to be an Eagle, man? Jesus Christ. Oh, but I mean, it's not surprising. Kenny Sadiq is one of the best players in this class. To assume that he would be there at 23 to the Eagles. Real life is not a mock draft sim. Everybody can kind of see who the best players are in the class, and they're going to go earlier than expected every time. Kenny Sadiq and Geno Smith is going to feed families. Well, everyone's here. Can we get 8 more likes to bring the stream up to 100 billion likes? Lions on the clock. I would just say it's going to be a tackle. I could see them falling in love with the traits and upside of Monroe Freeling. Who else is left? They got Lomu. I mean, they could go pass rush, like Falcon Mesdor, get that edge rusher on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson that they've been looking for so long. You got Lomu, you got Freeling, you got Ian Achor. Blake Miller can go in the first round. I'm going to say right now, though, as an Eagle fan, I am terrified that we're going to draft tackle. So Lions pick is in. We're mocking. I see it. Dylan Thiedman of the Vikings has been a very popular pick. They could go. I think Caden McDonald could be in play. Dylan Thiedman. I mean, Vikings like USC wide receivers. Could they go Mekhi Lemon? Just with like the uncertainty with all things, not Justin Jefferson in the receiving room there. Jordan Ashton just can't stay out of trouble. I think this pick's tackle. Please be the tackles I don't want. Which, at this point, is all of them. I would love a run on tackles so Howie has no temptation. I love Carolina to go tackle out of nowhere. They have OL as a need. I love Dallas to go tackle. I love Pittsburgh. I love the Chargers to go tackle. I love a team to jump in front of the Eagles to go tackle. Detroit Lions pick is in. Oh, nice Make-A-Wish kid. Let's go. Love seeing that. Let's go, buddy. All right, Detroit. Blake Miller, tackle Clemson. All right, we'll take that. We'll take that. Tackle off the board. Keep them going. Toasted, am I the only one that feels bad for Mike Vrabel? Feel bad for him. I don't know. That's kind of a take. I don't feel bad for either one of them. Blake Miller to the Lions. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Cooper, cooperative gamer there. I'd say that's like a strong B. They had to get a tackle. Got put, their hand got forced a little bit with Taylor Decker retiring, got released. I don't really know what the whole story is over there. I assume he's out there. I think it was like the contract, they couldn't figure it out, and they released him. Right? They probably talked about it on the broadcast, couldn't hear it. But I think my assessment would be of all the tackles that are available, in my opinion, Blake Miller looks like the one that needs the less refinement. So if you had to get a guy that's like, all right, might not have a higher ceiling than Ian Otchor or Freeling, but he absolutely has a better chance of starting week one for us at tackle as we try and go on and compete for a Super Bowl. I think there's probably logic in that. Okay, we got the Minnesota Vikings. Pick 18. Is this going to be the Dylan Thieneman selection that so many people have been just saying, there you go, there's how you replace Harrison Smith? I'd love to see randomly a tackle here, even though they don't need one. Minnesota Vikings select Caleb Banks. Let's go, Florida. Let's go. Wow. Really thought, I thought he was going to fall. I had him as a first rounder. I think of all the pure he's the number one lottery ticket. I would say he's an even bigger lottery ticket than Arvell Reese. I think he's a bigger lottery ticket than Ty Simpson if he pans out at 13. Caleb Banks has the ceiling if he can put it all together. Under Brian Flores, like his ceiling is unmatched. His ceiling is a 99 overall. But the fact of the matter is, you're getting an injury-prone player that's like, a 70 star dev. Got a long ways to go, but if you can get him going there and on the track development, there's a scary player in there. Like, he's the closest thing. He's Jordan Davis light. And that's a little bit of a stretch because Jordan Davis is a one of a kind. We'll probably never see an athlete again. They're that Uar Bernard guy, if you've heard about him for this draft cycle. Then you have these guys coming from Africa and Europe and Australia. I think they're trying to tap into that market. Absolutely, by the way. Go find more insanely fun project players. At worst, for me to play with in Madden. I'm telling you right now, we're going to break records with Uar Bernard. But Caleb Banks there, that's a very interesting one. Whoa! Philly is traded with Dallas. Who do we think? Makai Lemon? Wow. What does that mean? I'm going to record that for the intro here, boys. We are here officially on watch for C4 Philadelphia Eagle draft reaction. And we're bringing it in here now. Philadelphia has traded up from 23. I don't know what the compensation is. Probably wasn't a crazy amount. Maybe like a fourth-round pick. So we were scared and we wanted to leapfrog the Steelers and Chargers, apparently. If you want to interpret jumping the board like that way, which, they could just be ideally trading ahead of any team that could be wanting to trade up. They clearly knew who Carolina took, so that's why they made this trade up. Who left do we trade? I'm terrified to tackle. I'm terrified right now that the Philadelphia Eagles are drafting a tackle that might not play for 3 years. I do not want to draft a player that, he's going to play. I don't want to draft a player that makes me have to think, like, Lane, can you leave so we can get our first-round pick on the field? That's Lane Johnson. I wanted to play 3-4 more years. So, it could be, but if I'm looking at players that they could be trading up for, aggressively trading up for, I'd say the only ones that make sense would be Makai Lemon or Keldrick Falk, and I'd be a little bummed out if it's Keldrick Falk. So we'll be back a little bit closer to the pick, and we'll see who the Birds are going. All right, now we'll come right back here. I want to put this in video because the number one player I wanted was Kenyon Sadiq. What in the hell are the Jets doing here? You know? Maybe Philly was never going to get him, but that was my guy. That was the vibes guy. I would say also surprised that Philly for pick 20 didn't. I think Ruben Bain fall into that point. If this was a trade, I'm gonna be very upset if this is a trade for Keldrick Falk. It's like, oh, we just didn't want to go get Ruben Bain instead. Like I don't think the cost difference between the difference in Ruben Bain and Keldrick Falk right now. Why do I think it's Keldrick Falk? I think it's, and I don't hate that pick, but it's just again we're talking about. It's Monroe Freeling. Go. Okay, there's one that's interesting. Like, that would have been a player that you could make the connection how he trading up for, getting the Georgia Bulldog token, Howie Roseman Georgia Bulldog pick. I'm going to say, for me to be hype for this pick, I think Mekhi Lemon's probably the one that I go, okay, see A.J. Brown. See ya. Devontae Smith on the outside, Mekhi Lemon in the slot. I'm in. I'm there. I did a power rankings. I did a freaking power rankings about the players that I think. I literally didn't even put Mekhi Lemon because I didn't think it was a possibility. I was like, oh, he's gone top 10. So it's just like, all right, maybe these guys could potentially fall. So if this is Mekhi Lemon, that's probably the most hype pick this good. I'm so scared. It's got to be Keldrick Falk. There's no way this is not Keldrick Falk. We're not trading up to get like the final pick of the tackles that are still there. Like I don't think we're trading up for Caleb Lomu. I'd be very frustrated if we just traded up for Max Ihenacho. You know? So it's like, do we love Jermod McCoy? Are we cool with the injury history? We just wanted to get a guy that we think's a long-term starting corner with Tariq Woolen only being on a 1 year. You know, did they trade up for like a Dylan Thiedemann or McNeil Warren, like one of the safeties that are still left? Like top safeties are still there. Would Howie Roseman really be willing to invest a pick like that at safety? Maybe. Like, could it be wide receiver? Then they pull the rug and they really like KC Concepcion. My gut says that this is going to be Keldrick Falk. But the hype pick here. Roger Goodell's walking out. I think the hype pick would be Mekhi Lemon. I think this, if you're going based off of what Howie Roseman's done, let's get the volume here.
With the 20th pick,
he would probably see how is Mekhi Lemon still on the board.
The Philadelphia Eagles select Mekhi Lemon.
He does it again! Howie Roseman does not miss! I didn't even think this guy was possible. I couldn't even put him in my power rankings. There's no way Mekhi Lemon is falling to the Eagles. He does it again. I respect and appreciate. I bought his jersey, A.J. Brown, at his peak when he was locked in and fully invested with the Philadelphia Eagles. A.J. Brown, awesome. One of my favorite Eagles of all time. The ending is apparently now you don't like winning. You want to go chase stats, get to the Hall of Fame, I guess. I'm salty, but I'm not going to wish you ill will. Thank you very much for helping us win a Super Bowl. Best of luck to finish out your career. But also, fuck you, A.J. Brown. We got Mekhi Lemon. My favorite tape out of any wide receiver in this class. What he does to complement Devontae Smith. How he can work the middle of the field. How he can replace the yards after catch that we loved A.J. Brown for so much. As such a big strength to his game. All of those things, Mekhi Lemon is the best wide receiver in this class. You may be a little, 1 year. If you've ever watched go watch USC play. You get a couple Jacoby Lane ridiculous vertical jump grabs, and then it's literally Mekhi Lemon is a football psychopath. Would have loved him to run a little faster than a 4.5. Boys, this is a slam dunk for the Eagles. I still don't know what the compensation was. Biasly, vibes. Unbiasedly, if I was just not an Eagle fan grade, I'd say this is an A. That's a solid A for the Eagles. But for me, knowing the alternatives for Philadelphia to go with this pick, I am giving this absolutely an A+ selection there. Mekhi Lemon is an Eagle. A.J. Brown, who? That is fucking dope, man. That is dope. Fuck, man, I love that pick. Love that fucking pick. That's like your classic, even if you're just going from like the casual scope of mock drafts. I only do mock drafts. If the only information you've plugged into this draft process is mock draft, and you know we're playing. Like, Makai Lemon's one, if I would have made that pick in the mock draft, almost all the comments like, no fucking way he's there at 20. That's how I feel about that pick. Let's go, man. But I'm going to say, like, unbiasedly, still grand picture of things. You know, that's probably like an A. That's at least an A. And as an Eagle fan, I'm giving that an A+. And I think for me, like, the pick, the fit, the fact that it still is a slot wide receiver at pick 20, that's rich for that, even though, you know, slot wide receivers very much and can oftentimes be schematically like a more important position for an offense than an outside guy. But it goes from A to A+, given the alternatives that Philly could have made with that trade-up pick for me. So thank you very much, Dallas. You know, wasn't it Dallas that helped us trade in front of the New York? Dallas helped us get Devontae Smith, and now they helped us get Makai Lemon. I love that, dude. I fucking love that pick. I hope everyone here in chat for your favorite team is as happy for your team's pick. Now I'm gonna hindsight this. If Makai Lemon and Kenyon Sadiq were still on the board at 20, that would be the tough one, dude. I honestly think I would go Makai Lemon because all my rationale to getting Kenyon Sadiq was like, well, we'll put him in the slot this year. We can put him in the slot for the time being, and then eventually he'll be a Dallas Goedert successor. But that's kind of like a stopgap. Makai Lemon, like, there's your wide receiver too. There is the guy that gives you the best chance at this point in the draft to replace A.J. Brown. Be it any trades, whatever. Like, there's some reports that maybe George Pickens could be up for trade. Makai Lemon at 20 is the only and best option, I think, to A.J. Brown no longer be on the Eagles and still feeling really good about the wide receiver room. Love that, dude. Absolutely love that. C4, how do you feel about the Lions? I mean, you had to get a tackle. I think you did what you had to do at pick 17. Holy fuck, man. That is a sick pick. I'm so pumped. So pumped we got Makai Lemon, dude. That is great. So we got Pittsburgh with a lot. I mean, this pick's always got to take forever as the host team. Steelers at 21. You got Mike McCarthy, so I don't know. Pittsburgh could go a lot of different ways here. Max Iannaccio, tackle from Arizona State. Is there concerns about the health of Broderick Jones? Is that probably in line with that? I don't know. I think we got some Steeler fans in here. What do you guys think about Iannaccio? Excuse me. Wow. I'm not gonna lie, he was kind of my worst case scenario for Philadelphia there. But high ceiling tackle, has first round traits, only been playing football for a couple years. I think there's a little worry there, but I assume the tackle, Fatano's going to stay at right tackle, so you need Iannaccio at left tackle. That's going to be the play. Hopefully he starts. Yeah, rumor is Broderick Jones is going to get released. So yeah, there you go. Now tackle's a gigantic need. You got an offensive-minded head coach. Definitely needs his offensive line in order. Mike McCarthy's best offenses in Dallas was when the O-line was good. I get it. I mean, that's probably like a B if you're throwing a grade on it, but that's a B's a solid grade. If I was a school, I'd take B's all the time. We got Chargers up next at pick 22. Pick is in for the Chargers. Ooh, what do we think? Dallas up after that for the Chargers, huh? I mean, they could go pass rush, like a Keldrick Falk developmental option, understudy type deal, under Khalil Mack. Not really sure who else they could go. I'm going to just throw something out here. What if Dylan Thiedemann falls to the second round and then we just make him our Cooper DeJean again? I'm gonna propose that on the internet. Is it 1 L or 2 L's? I think it's 1 L. Dillon. Top 5 rappers alive. Dill. No, okay. Can't get Dylan. I know 100%. I know I can spell Thiedemann. What do we say for Chargers? Running back. Chargers are going running. They just want to Mr. What If quarterback. The Chargers are going to draft Caleb Lohman. Play him at guard? I think Chase Bisontis, from being in the weeds of some of the in-the-know draft people, I think they had Chase Bisontis as a potential first rounder. They really want to go guard. Emmanuel Pregnon from Oregon, probably. Whoa! Spoiler this site. They go, hey, Canada! I love seeing another Canadian in the NFL. Akeem Mesidor. Sure, he's 27 years old. He's the Brandon Whedon of edge rushers. But that's a win now guy. That is a guy that's going to day one come in and fight for minutes and get reps early in the season. Khalil Mack, I assume, at his age, probably not giving you a full rack of reps. Mesidor can come in. You got Tui Pelotu on the other side. Had a little breakout last year. I like that. That's a good pick, man. If your logic in this spot is if you want to go highest ceiling long game, maybe Keldrick Falk there to be the understudy. But if you're the Chargers, you're I want to win. I want to get the best player that can help us next season. Mesidor at 22. That's a good pick. I'd give that, a strong B plus, maybe biasly because I love seeing a Canadian in the NFL. A minus. Airwoosh with the San Diego Chargers callback. Wow. Yeah, so what's going on with like the Dallas Cowboys like trading George Pickens? They only want him for like a 1-year rental, and then who are they gonna ship him off to? Like, I thought there were supposed to be trades in this first round. Like, people were saying that Philly's gonna look at John Grenard in a trade. Again, Florida Gator bias, cool. Love John Grenard, the team. Don't love the idea of the fact that he needs a contract extension. But what do we got for Dallas? What is Chad thinking for Dallas? Falk? Like, is this the time that you go Keldrick Falk and you get your pass rush? I think that'd probably be a good pick. I'd grade that one pretty well for Dallas. So many Dallas Cowboy fans are upset about getting him with the first pick, but I think they'd be a lot cooler getting him with the second. So you guys hate the Ty Simpson? Well, not hate. What is the meme pick? Is Ty Simpson? You guys think Ty Simpson's the meme pick so far? Like, what's the ultimate? Like, huh? I still think the Giants getting Arvell Reese is kind of like the crazy. Like, what are they doing? Okay, let's see how this plays out. But they're getting a really, really good player, so you can't say that's the worst pick. I mean, Ty Simpson, yeah, but it also makes sense, dude. They need a quarterback. They don't have a lot of needs. They needed a corner, and they traded for one. You know, it felt like they improved the roster enough that, like, you had the luxury to go Ty Simpson there. But I also, Ty Simpson going 13th. It's Bo Nix vibes all over again. Like, really? That guy's going in the first round? But I also hate Ty Simpson. I'm not a fan of his game, so I don't know. I get it, though. That's definitely a bizarre pick. Caleb Banks at 18 could certainly be surprising if you're going off, like, recent mock draft trends. Like, I think Caleb Banks, if you go through the whole body of, like, when mock draft started at the beginning of college season last year to the last mock draft yesterday, Caleb Banks probably on average was a first-round pick for most of that, so it's not that shocking. You think Jacob Rodriguez to the Cowboys? That'd be a fun pick. Much as I'd love to shit on the Cowboys pick, I think Rodriguez is very undervalued. I think the fact that it pretty much was just like a foregone conclusion. He was your typical, let's call it what it is. He's your typical, like, kind of all-America white college linebacker guy that we've seen it so many times. It's the stereotype. Where it's like, all right, you get 700 tackles in college, but you have no coverage skills, and you're going to be like a special teamer at the NFL. Like, it happens every year. And I kind of got those vibes for Jacob Rodriguez. I mean, Rodriguez, white, you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying, right? You know, he kind of fit that bill of that, like, that super productive, but, like, you know, might not translate the next level type linebacker. And then he went to the combine, and, like, the testing was ridiculous. Not Sonny Styles ridiculous, but if Sonny Styles didn't exist, everyone would be like, holy shit, Jacob Rodriguez. Like, this is a guy that was Heisman shortlist guy almost. Like, I think they bring the top 3, and I think he was like 4 or 5 or something like that for Heisman voting. Oh, and then he's also like a plus athlete, like Jack Campbell. I feel like if Jack Campbell and that profile can go in the first round, if Leighton Vander Esch, that's another Dallas Cowboy pick, like that could happen. I could totally see this if that is Jacob Rodriguez. I wouldn't. He'd be one of those guys that not really gets mocked in the first round, but if he went, I would have no problem with it. Omar Cooper to the Browns. Ooh. Interesting. Dylan Thieneman, I'd be upset. I now want my new dream is for Philadelphia to trade up to get Dylan Thieneman the same way we traded up to get Cooper Jean. That is going to be the ultimate backstory aura. I made a tweet of that for the Exciting Whites 2.0. Both players expected first-round picks. How are they falling to the second round? Philadelphia comes out of nowhere, brings these guys together to form the Exciting Whites 2.0. Like, that's not what I'm hoping for. From a biased Eagle perspective, I am now, until he gets picked, I would love to trade up for Dylan Thieneman. I would love, those 2 picks would represent to me Philadelphia heavily investing in rookies that they want to start at their big positions of need. You trade A.J. Brown, Mekhi Lemon instantly is the wide receiver 2. He's the second best wide receiver on the team. You draft Dylan Thieneman wherever. If you have to trade up in the first, you trade up in the second. That is going to be guys going to come in with the expectation that he's going to be able to beat out Marcus Epps and Michael Carter to be the starting safety alongside Drew Makuba. I'd love that. But the Dallas Cowboys pick is in. Jermon McCoy. I think this is Keldrick Falk. But, I mean, could this be a Jermod McCoy sighting? Could this be TJ Parker? Malachi Lawrence. Huh. It's kind of a draft hipster, like first round guy. Like if you're in the weeds enough, you're like, okay, this is a guy that a lot of people have liked for a long. You know, for me, it's just, you know, athletic, not insane level of competition pass rusher. Like he would have been like a second rounder in my opinion. But, you know, a lot of similar traits to Donovan Ezeraku. Love that pick for Dallas last year, frustratingly, for Ezeraku, Boston College falling to him. Rangy athlete, and I think you get that with Malachi Lawrence. That's not a terrible pick. You know, he's a guy that's trending towards more being like a first-round pick than a second-round pick, even though he's teetered kind of between those two, I feel like, for a lot of the draft process. Maybe a slight reach, but with his athletic traits, if you think like that's your guy at pass rush, you like that project a little bit more than, you know, however high you think the development rate of Keldrick Falk would be. If you don't think you can develop Keldrick Falk, there's no point in drafting him. So that's, you know, that's not a shit all over pick, even though some people might be like, who the hell is Malachi Lawrence? If you're just kind of, you know, you go on Eagles Twitter, they're probably going to be clowning on that pick. The people that aren't super invested in the draft, aren't in the weeds for this whole season. But that's not a terrible pick. Slightly surprising, not terrible, I get it. Browns pick is in at 24. You guys think it's wide receiver Omar Cooper, KC Concepcion, getting a weapon for Shador or probably Deshaun Watson, or much like the Spencer Final selection, go get the best wide receiver available for your quarterback that you're going to grab next year in the draft. That would be my logic. That's what this draft is about. This draft is about getting as many pieces as you can, getting ahead of the 8-ball, so that when you get your quarterback next year, there's a better chance to hit the ground running. You guys are thinking KC's going here? If that does happen and Omar Cooper does fall a little bit, I don't think the Bills would draft him. I don't think the Bears would draft him. Like, I think he's too similar to the dude they got from Missouri for Chicago. I think he's too similar to Khalil Shakir for Buffalo. I could see Omar Cooper to the Niners, maybe. Being the slot guy, the slot wide receiver. They lost, Jennings, and Ricky Pearsall's not exactly that type. Ricky Pearsall's more of the speed guy. Interesting. Well, Cleveland, let's see who's left here for Cleveland at 24. Denzel Boston, Conception, Keldrick Falk. You could go... I don't know. Man, not a crazy amount of... Yeah, wide receiver does make the most sense here. If I was the Browns, I would go Omar Cooper, but not a huge discrepancy if I was power ranking Omar Cooper and KC Concepcion. They both do relative, like their ceiling, if they both hit, I think you might get a better swing at an outside player. Inside-outside versatility. I think there's a better chance that Omar Cooper could be that guy versus Concepcion, who I think is purely going to be a slot. Kansas City might go Denzel Boston. I would almost hate that because I've kind of shit on that pick, the idea of him going to Philadelphia, and then if he goes to Kansas City and tears it up, that will not age well. That will not be great for my social media ego as I throw out takes pretending to be a scout sometimes on the internet. Bears, McNeil Warren. Bears, Dylan Thiedemann. I think that's going to be a big hurdle. I think we're entering the hurdle of, I think, Chicago. If now my logic as an Eagle fan is, can Dylan Thiedemann fall to the Eagles? I think the Bears could take him. I think the Bills could take him. I think the Niners could take him. It says safety for the Dolphins. I don't think Dolphins would go Dylan Thiedemann there. But this is the cluster right here. I need Dylan Thiedemann to fall past 27. And honestly, I'd love to see Howie Roseman maybe make a package deal here. I'd love to see Howie Roseman make a handshake deal. New England at 31. You draft Dylan Thieneman, okay? Patriots draft Dylan Thieneman at 31. And then trade us June 2nd, Dylan Thieneman and a 2027 third-round pick for A.J. Brown. How does that sound? Come on, Brownies. Eagles need to call the Bills and A.J. Brown. Well, we can't trade with anyone right now for this pick with A.J. Brown. We'd have to have a behind the backroom handshake deal. So the Cleveland Browns here, we're thinking wide receiver. Omar Cooper, KC Concepcion, Denzel Boston. KC Concepcion, the Browns go slot wide receiver. I was early on KC Concepcion, not to pat my back as I called him as a future first rounder, but I remember he was at NC State and like early in his career. Like he might have been a true freshman. It was like you just see highlights anytime you'd flick on NC State from a not because it was on TV, but because you're seeking out because you have a gambling addiction. You gamble on any and all college football games, and you see like a true freshman for NC State, like being uncoverable, you go, that's kind of cool. And that was KC Concepcion. I think he was there for 2 years, like 2 years as a starter, then he transferred. So I've been, I was tapped in a little early. I think, just a lot of drops. It's one of those guys that, I don't know, I don't like guys with drops. Drops isn't really something that has a high hit rate. I don't think there's a lot of guys that have a lot of drops in college that completely turn that around in the NFL. Like obviously with the jugs machine and training, you can get better. But drops are sometimes just as much mental as it is physical. And the mental aspect of if you're a guy that gets drops, like that's a lot more difficult to coach out of you. So I don't know what's the case with Concepcion, but that's a fun pick. That's a fine pick for the Browns. Like I'd give that like a solid B. Get the weapons in place for when you get your quarterback. You got Judkins at running back, Harold Fannin at tight end, KC Concepcion at wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy at wide receiver. Fano comes on the offensive line. They've invested. They got a couple guys in free agency, I'm pretty sure, too, right? Titus Howard. That's not a bad landing spot for, the assumption that they're getting a quarterback next year. I'd much rather plan for the future in this draft and not really worry so much. You have Deshaun Watson. You're stuck with that. So let's really just totally approach this draft of guys we can get on the offensive side of the ball. They're going to be able to grow and develop it a little bit as rookies that are going to help the offense next year. Chicago Bears at 25. This is a hurdle. We want Dylan Thieneman to keep falling. Bears could go Dylan Thieneman here. C4 now wants Dylan Thieneman. Dylan Thieneman's my number one player on the board, the C4 Eagles board. The exact same way at this point, a couple years ago, I was saying Cooper DeJean. Oh my God, Philly trade out for Cooper DeJean. Go get Cooper DeJean. Not like for like. Cooper DeJean, I talked about it on my second channel. My two favorite picks in Eagle history for the first round. Fletcher Cox, that was the first year I made draft content on YouTube. Fletcher Cox was my dream pick, but it was like, he's not falling to the Eagles. Like, Philly's going to have to trade up to get him. There's no way. And Philly traded up to pick 12. I was like, oh my God, they traded. And they get Fletcher Cox. They get my favorite target in that class. But he was so good. That was so sick. And then the next time that happened, that truly happened, was Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean was like, I would have been fine with Cooper DeJean in the first round, even though I like Quinyon Mitchell. Right? But I was like, give me Cooper DeJean. Make it happen. And when they made it happen, that's like an all-time moment. That's ultimately my favorite draft pick of all time. And I think Cooper DeJean's better player, better prospect than Dylan Thieneman. But I'm getting those vibes right now. I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to get the butterflies. Can we find a way to make it happen? But you got the Chicago Bears here. Yes, there's a McNeil Warren from Toledo. One of these safety need teams could draft him over Dylan Thieneman. I would very much appreciate that. But you know what? Also, I'm good with either one. If this ends up being a second round scenario, I'm fine with McNeil Warren in the second round. Didn't love him in the first round, but if you want to pair the Toledo boys, him and Quinyon Mitchell back up in the second round, I'm all for it. I would much rather the idea of Dylan Thieneman potentially being the starting safety for the Eagles over, with all due respect, Marcus Epps, who's solid, and we don't know what we have in Michael Carter. Like, those guys, they're fine. They're fine in a pinch type players, but they're not long-term pieces on the defense that we're going to be able to rely upon the same way getting one of those two big safeties this year would be. So the Bears. And then we have the Texans, Niners, Bills. Buffalo just traded back with the Houston Texans. Interesting. What do we think that means? Now the corners have got, I mean, such a big drop-off after Mansour Lane with the injury to Jermod McCoy. Then you start pulling in the fact that, like, Terrell, undersized, ran a 4.6. Like, that's probably fallen to the second round. Chris Johnson from San Diego State, like, big PFF darling guy. You know, that still seems a little rich for him. Like, he might sneak up, like Daniel Jeremiah, I think, had him going in the first round, so it wouldn't be shocking. But I think there's just such a big drop-off after Mesidor at corner. I think that's another reason to applaud Kansas City. They probably also thought that. They're like, if we need a corner, which we need now to replace Trent McDuffie, like, we got to get to Lane. We have to overpay to ensure that we can land him. That's one of the best picks of the draft. I think that was just an absolute slam dunk, regardless of the fact a corner of Mansour Delane going at 6. It's rich. You know, like, that's usually when, like, the Jalen Ramsey type cornerback prospects go, and I don't think he's quite at that level. But I think in hindsight, I really think that was a really good pick from Kansas City. Why is there so many ads? Yeah, this is brutal. I mean, they're clearly stretching this so it goes to the end of the top of the hour. Chicago Bears, please not safety. If safety, please not Dylan Thieneman. Let's get the Bears like a pass rusher here. Let's let the Bears go like TJ Parker or something. Let's get a developmental edge. Let's go wide receiver. Get them Omar Cooper to, like, take over DJ Moore's role. I don't know. Come on, man. Make the pick. This is brutal. Like, we should be half hour ahead. Like, the draft should be done right now. All this bullshitting. Chicago Bears. They just said McNeil Warren. That was Daniel Jeremiah's last. He might know something. Fuck! Fuck, man, look how cool he looks. Look how cool that guy looks. I'm a spelling wizard right now. Oh, they ruined the exciting whites. That's a good pick. Oh, man, look how cool he looks, dude. That is the coolest guy. He looks like he flies airplane, like fighter jets. You know? Congrats. Happy for you. Great. I think I actually had that in my last mock draft. Or, not mock draft, sorry. Rewind that. My Bears realistic rebuild. I'm pretty sure I took Dylan Thieneman in the first round. I knew it. I was just there early. It's a good pick. I think Dylan Theineman, for as much as I like to pretend fake scout, I would say second round safety tape, but first round athlete. So you kind of split the two. It's like that's a first round player. I think the inverse is McNeil Warren. I think McNeil Warren looked a little bit better, made a little bit more impact, in my opinion, for Toledo. I think now that Theineman's off the board, I think McNeil Warren's a better complement to Drew Makuba's game than Dylan Theineman was. But it's just the inverse. I think McNeil Warren, first round tape, second round athlete. So it's usually you side with the athlete. The Dolphins jump the Buffalo Bills. Ooh, that could be spicy. Omar Cooper? Is that Omar Cooper territory? Ooh, I like that, though. I love that little, I remember when Philly did that. Dallas traded with Philly so a week ago, sniped Devontae Smith from the New York Giants. One of my best draft members of all time. But yeah, that got to be for wideout, right? To leapfrog the... I mean, I would say, though, is that for Denzel Boston? I just don't see Buffalo. I think Omar Cooper's too similar to, what they have at wide receiver right now. I think, you get outside perimeter play. Didn't really get that with Keon Coleman. I think if this is a trade for a wide receiver, you're doing that to get Denzel Boston because I think that's who Buffalo would draft. Omar Cooper's a better player, though. But that'd be interesting. This ends up being a wideout, man. The Dolphins have to replace... the same way Philly has to try their best to replace A.J. Brown. Miami got to replace Jalen Watt. You got to have a wide receiver one. You got to have a go-to guy. Who's Miami's wide receiver one right now? I literally couldn't tell you. Is it Washington? Is that his name? Washington? From, Virginia Tech? Is that their wide receiver one? Fucking Darren Waller? So funny seeing Eagles fan pretend Lemon is good. He fits perfect with Sirianni and give them 8 months for they have two cry fighting on the sideline. You don't know ball. The only thing that you're pretending about Lemon is that you're not worried that he was kind of 1 year wonder, if you will. But man, oh man, best tape. I think it was the best tape of any of the wide receivers in this class because I think it was the most translatable tape that I saw. You know what I'm saying? Cardell Tate, too. Oh, here we go. Houston's picks up. Then I'll finish my thought. The Texans go Keelan Rutledge, guard from Georgia Tech. Wow. Trading up for that? Huh. That's definitely, with all due respect, that's not quite like Cole Strange territory. Rutledge put up a pretty big raz. A lot of people had him, as early as the second best guard in the class. He's certainly in that cluster of him, Pregnon, and Chase Bisontis. But that's, I think you gotta like the process. You gotta like the fact that Houston's finally addressing the offensive line with a guy that they think is going to be a game changer, can help out those guys. So I think from that standpoint, going guard's a good pick. Did they pick the right lineman, though? But, yeah, I think it was kind of Rutledge was second round, kind of second round vibes. First round, probably pretty rich, pretty big pick. I'd say I agree. I think B-. I think value's probably in the C range, but Houston addressing the offensive line. Let's be optimistic about Rutledge hitting his ceiling as a really solid starting guard. Then okay, I'm gonna factor the positional value and what it means, and thank you for actually finally drafting a lineman after the last 3 years for saying they got to draft a lineman. But yeah, I'd say C+, B- somewhere in that range. That seems like a reach. And also you had to trade up. I think that also kind of affects it. All right, you got the reach guy that you... But it's the perceived reach. They probably know. I bet you probably one of these teams, they thought one of these teams were going to get Rutledge. Or else, obviously, you wouldn't make that trade up. So I have Miami up here at pick 27. we're saying wide receiver. I think I think Omar Cooper's the best wide receiver available. But yeah, my logic here is I think you jump Buffalo because you want Denzel Boston. Man, that would have been cool for Dylan Thielman to fall the first round. But the plan is, fellas, right now, 70-30. Maybe even 75-25 that I'm going to be streaming. We're going to be doing this exact same thing tomorrow night for the second and third rounds. Part of that is Philly has a bunch of picks, so it's going to be I think it's going to be a really fun time from an Eagles fan perspective. But, yeah, like unless something happens with my brother, the plan is to stream tomorrow night. And he actually just sent me a text that I'm not going to read until the stream is done. I'm not gonna lie though, we could hit the nitrous oxide here on the rest of this draft. Like let's speed this up. It's a school night. It is almost midnight. C4 time. Let's go. Father of two. Hashtag. I don't care about Deal Dash. Whatever this fucking scam site is. I do not care. You think Dolphins are drafting Jermod McCoy? Yeah. I mean, they have corners a second need. It takes one team to think Jermod McCoy is going to be 2024 Jermod McCoy. 2024 Jermod McCoy at pick 27. That's a nice selection. Well, let's see on the edge, O-line, safety. Like McNeil Warren. I mean, yeah, we're not out of the woods right now for us Eagle fans who want McNeil Warren to fall. He could go here. I mean, there are corners that have first-round buzz. Chris Johnson, Colton Hood, Jermod McCoy. But again, it's just like the trade-up. The trade-up's what, like, all right, corner, okay. But you're trading out there. Like, are you worried Buffalo goes corner? Probably not. They're getting Maxwell Hairston. And, like, that's the team you leapfrog. That's how I'm just interpreting it. Maybe we're overthinking it, and maybe they had nothing to do with trading up here to purposely get in front of Buffalo. Maybe they just took it as the best opportunity to get the guy on their board. Pick is in for the Dolphins. I'm going to guess Denzel Boston. But, you know, Jermod McCoy could be in play. There's some people think that, I mean, it seems like if you go off like the big insiders that are truly pulsed in, I think a lot of people think McCoy falls to the second round. Dolphins pick 27. Denzel Boston. Chris Johnson, a corner from San Diego State. PFF darling. I believe he was like the highest rated draft eligible corner from PFF. Breakout year with San Diego State. Good athlete. Outside corner. I'm looking at it right now. Daniel Jeremiah mock. Tre'Davious White comp. So, like, not a guy that was unheard of going in the first round. Like, it's a bigger surprise that, like, Rutledge went in the first round. Or maybe even debatably Malachi Lawrence. I mean, he's probably on the same vibes as Johnson. Kind of like if you're a super draft hipster, you're woke to the fact that these guys could go first round. Interesting, though, man. The injury on Jermod McCoy must be serious. Like, it's still people are worried. I mean, I think the vibes were like he did a lot of straight line speed at his pro day, but not a lot of like quick twitchy movements and stuff. But yeah, the injury for that's still, no matter what way you cut it, you know, Chris Johnson going ahead of Jermod McCoy is what makes this a little bit more surprising than Chris Johnson going in the first round, I think. But then there's a pretty obvious assumption to get the explanation to that is the injury flag on Jermod McCoy is clearly very serious. Wow. Rappaport's just saying that the Pittsburgh Steelers wanted Makai Lemon, and they didn't know that the Philadelphia Eagles were going to trade up ahead of them and snipe him. Holy fuck, Elon. Post. All right, Patriots. Patriots just traded up. Diana Rossini, first round. Oh, they go Caleb Lomu, tackle. Got spoiled here on NFL. The NFL Network too slow. Okay. Well, what's the vibes? Right tackle. This is definitely not as much as you want to meme it like a Will Campbell thing. This is probably like, is Morgan Moses returning a tackle? If not, you need a tackle. If so, probably a 1-year deal. Get a player in Loma. A lot of people thought it was a surprise. I think he was like going to return to school, and then Utah's coach went to Michigan, and I think he was like, I'm going to the NFL. Like that was kind of the vibe. So he was a guy that was like expected to be maybe the top tackle in next year's class. So they're getting a year early on that. Cool pick. You know, they needed a tackle. Hopefully, looking at the board here, hopefully Buffalo does not pick safety. Love McNeil Warren to fall. That's a solid pick, though, for the Patriots. Kansas City on the clock. Who are they going to pair with Mansour Delane? I think that's... Biasly, I love Makai Lemon to the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that's definitely one of my favorite picks, regardless. I think my second favorite pick of this first round is Kansas City getting Mansour Delane. So how can they follow that up at pick 29? All right, they're going to go Omar Cooper Jr. He could be an absolute dog. Keldrick Falk. Is Keldrick Falk a guy that Spags wants to sink his teeth into and develop into another pass rusher? Could they go Jamal McCoy double up at corner? We got any Chief fans in chat? What are you guys thinking here? I would say at 29. I would say looking at the board and looking what... This is a tricky spot, man. I think I'd be happy with any of those. I think I'd be happy, just looking at their needs. If they double up at corner, Jamal McCoy, they like the grade, they trust the injury. Omar Cooper, if you want to go wide receiver, even though maybe Denzel Boston gives you something a little different than their current wide receiver room. You go pass rush like a Keldrick Falk. Could totally be in play. Defensive line, Caden McDonald from Ohio State still on the board. TJ Parker, absolutely. I like TJ Parker as a first rounder, late first rounder. Get that 5th-year option, worth the development out of him. Dude, we got fucking Makai Lemon. That's sick, dude. Fuck yeah. Like, that's my review. That is my only review. That, like, C4, what do you truthfully think about the Makai Lemon pick? And my answer is I literally did a trade-up scenario where I was like, I don't think... he's like, no, there's not going to be there. He's not going to be in play. Maybe we can get Tyson. Maybe you have Maui Noah and Bain have the size concerns that can cause them to fall a little bit. And they like all these guys did literally fall out of the top 10. So I was right on that, except Tyson. But I was just like, I think Lemon and Tate are gone. Lemon and Tate are going to be gone, and then like you're going to be fighting over Tyson as like the next big wide receiver. That would be my review on Makai Lemon. As there's no way to hindsight it. There's no way to lie about my true vibes with the pick and try to like. I literally thought he wasn't going to be available. So yay! C4, didn't your Eagles rebuild have Makai Lemon in it? Yep. Sure did. I'll post that receipt once the stream's done, and I'll upload the reaction. I did. Well, fuck, I've already done a Mackay Lemon Eagles rebuild then. Not going to be able to do that. All right, guys, we're almost at the end of the first round. I'm looking for that thumbnail to post on the Twitter. I'll find it here. What do you guys think about your team's favorite picks? Throw some quick grades out. I think this is going to be like generally a positive. Like, I think most teams are going to be pretty happy with their picks. Like, some years you could just tell, like, there's 5 or 6 absolute stinkers that you can already just tell. Ooh, can I just paste this? I am the future. Why couldn't I see it with Dylan Thineman? All right, we got Kansas City going Peter Woods. I think there's some value there. You're buying 2024 Peter Woods. You're buying it when Peter Woods was like going into this year's college football season, a consensus top 10 pick. Ain't mad at that. Doubling up on the defensive side of the ball. There's upside with Peter Woods. The weird thing with Peter Woods is like throughout the whole college, he was like 315. And then, like, at the combine, he's like 295. So, like, whoa, okay. Peter Woods at a Diddy party. Air swoosh B+ for Mendoza. They move up and grab Cooper here. I'll give them an A. So the Jets have traded back up. Pick 30, huh? Who are the Jets trading up for? Whiteout? You think they're getting Omar? I mean, Omar Cooper season. I can see that. I can see Omar Cooper. I could see that good Jermod McCoy. Like all it takes, we're waiting for Jermod McCoy to potentially drop here. One team to be good with the medical, and then you're evaluating the type of player that he is. First round player. Jones, real question: Buffalo make a pick? I mean, if you're Buffalo, you still got 2 wide. Like I don't know. I'm asking you, Buffalo fan. Denzel Boston, would you be cool with that? I think like stylistically that could be in play. I think if I'm the Jets here, man, a lot of people were like, Jets would be cool getting Omar Cooper at 16, and then they just fucked up my dream by getting Sadiq there. So the guy that like I would have thought like that's a fine pick, even though my vibes on on Omar Cooper's. Liked him a lot more when he was going in the second round than the first round. I like the player. His, just his highlight reel. If you just want to just look simply at highlights, so clutch. When Mendoza needed to, there you go, it is. When Mendoza needed to make a play, he was going to Cooper. His catch in the end zone against incredible. One of the best plays I've ever seen. I'm a fan of that. Omar Cooper compliments Garrett Wilson. I think it's very fair to say that the Jets kind of crushed it. I think everyone's happy with this Jets draft unless your name's Mason Taylor. Jets kind of killing it, man. I like that, man. I think the Jets, the same way I talked about the Browns. The Browns getting Fano there at 9. The Browns getting Concepcion at 24. You're future-proofing your offense for when you get your quarterback next year. Jets, same boat. You get what you get a legit top-tier player at 2, and then you add to the offense for when you finally get your quarterback. Whatever quarterback they get next year is going to inherit Omar Cooper, who, again, you're hoping they hit. You're going to get Omar Cooper, who lives up to the billing. You get Kenyon Sadiq, who lives up to the billing. You have Garrett Wilson. You have those offensive linemen start to pan out, right? Membu and Fashanu at tackle. Tippmann and I'm brain farting on the other one. I know they have another decent player. That could be a fun offense to walk into if you get the quarterback right next year. I'm giving the Jets overall for those 3 picks. That's a legit A. I like the Jets now that the Chiefs got Peter Will. I think I like the Jets for a multi-pick teams. The teams had multiple picks in the first round. Jets might be my favorite. I think the best pick was Delane of all those teams with multiple picks, but as a whole, now they did have 3 picks, but I think they made 3 good picks. So we have, Tennessee is trading up. Sorry to all the Bills fans. Wow, Bills just hating them. I mean, how many picks have they got? Buffalo has definitely hoarded a lot of picks now, so that's kind of cool. Tennessee, who is Tennessee trading up for? So this is trading back up late first round. That is your coming up to get a guy on a 5th-year option. The Titans go wide receiver here first and Carnell Tate. You go Keldrick Falk. Do you get a Caden McDonald to come in and replace the nose tackle they traded to the Jets? Can't remember his name right now. And partner long term with Jeff Simmons. Cassius Howell, I could see a team liking him enough to take him in the first round. Jacob Rodriguez, so people are like, man, you know what would work? Sonny Styles, Salah gets his Fred Warner type. Well, you missed it on that. Jacob Rodriguez, I think he'd be a guy that if he goes to the first, I think a lot of people would be surprised. I wouldn't hate that. This is interesting, man. I'd say there's no obvious player left on the board that's that's who the Titans are coming up for, I don't think. Pick is in for the Titans. Top player available on Daniel Jeremiah's board here. He has McNeil Warren, Jamad McCoy, Colton Hood, Denzel Boston, TJ Parker, Cassius Howell, Keldrick Falks, TJ Allen, Kate McDonald, and Jadarian Price. Those are his next 10 best available. Sorry, Jonesy. I wish that's the worst. I've gone through that. We've had drafts where Philly picks late and they don't end up picking it all. It's a bummer. Thank you for hanging out. I hope this stream was at least entertaining enough for you. Here we go, Titans pick. We are almost done this first round. Tennessee at pick 31. Okay, yeah, let's stop talking. I'm showing great self-restraint not to just look at the screen of my computer to see the pick. I want to do it organically. You're making it very tough, Roger Goodell. Reads at a grade 3 level. Thank you. Keldrick Falk, okay. Yeah, that would have been my guess, just based off the vibes that you do this pick right here, the late, to get a fifth-year option. So that, to me, is who is the most project-y, you want that extra year player available that could go in the first round if the guys left. That was Keldrick Falk. So I think that's solid for Falk. Falk is wearing it a little bit because of how the Shamar Stewart pick worked out for the Bengals last year, where you get the big athlete, upsidey pass rusher, no college production. Will it translate to the NFL? Did not work out in that case. So getting burned, it's still that probably affected Keldrick Falk. Like, I bet you if Shamar Stewart was good last year, if Shamar Stewart was productive, I bet you Keldrick Falk goes early. I think there's a perception there that, like, they're very similar, man. Keldrick Falk, a great, like, a plus athlete as a passer. I think he's only 20 years old, so he's one of the youngest players in the class. But it's just like, you got, what kind of player is he actually going to be at the next level? That is certainly a gamble. But Tennessee goes defensive side of the ball for Salah, gets Keldrick. I think that's like a A-. I think I like the context. I don't know if Keldrick Falk's going to be good enough to make up for whatever compensation they just get to get that pick. I think I would like, actually, before I would grade that, like to see what they traded, because it probably was expensive to trade back up into the first round. So I don't know if Keldrick Falk's a guy that I would love to trade, potentially what they gave up to go get Keldrick Falk, but I think the logic and strategy between, like, Keldrick Falk at 31 is a solid spot to get him. Let's be aggressive so we can get him on that fifth-year option versus waiting to see if he falls to the second round. I think it was good process for the Titans to get him there. Anyone got the compensation for that trade? Again, don't know why NFL.com does not show the trade compensation, especially when there's 17 trades happening with the final 5 picks. Oh my God, let's not burn the midnight oil here. Literally, 12:01 a.m. Make the goddamn pick. If I have to see another Deal Dash scam website commercial, or like to buy an All-American Patriot generator, I'm jumping off my roof. Hey, do you guys want a flashlight that a tank can run over? No. Fucking Spike TV ad, ass ads over there. Chooch, I absolutely agree. I think in hindsight too, if we're kind of in agreement that maybe the Shamar Stewart pick kind of hurt the idea of Keldrick Falk going earlier in this draft, I think if Shamar Stewart went at pick 31, there'd be a different perception. Versus when what they got him in the teens, whatever pick he was for the Bengals last year. Like, I think if the scenario was Cincinnati went another defensive player in the first round and then they traded up to get Shamar Stewart at pick 31, I think there would be a little bit more leniency with the slow start to his career. But then again, he had that weird, like, contract dispute and stuff. Vibes weren't great, but that's a Bengals issue. C4, I missed your reaction to Makai Lemon. How do you think about it? Okay, I don't know if I still have it up here. The easiest way, I love the pick. The easiest way to explain my vibes here, this will be the last time I do it. So I did, like, my night before the NFL draft vibes rankings for the Eagles. And I did, like, if we stay at 23, these are the guys that, like, I know my power rankings for them. But in my trade-up tier, for wide receiver, obviously with A.J. Brown, I didn't put Makai Lemon or Carnell Tate because I thought for sure they were not going to even be the guys that could fall down. The same way, like, Josh Downs, Bain, Maui Noah, Jordan Tyson, Veg Ione, like the very safe, big-time players in this year's class might be even falling. I did not see Makai Lemon falling. I thought from a tape, as much as my opinion as a pretend scout on the internet that plays Madden, I thought Makai Lemon had the best tape, the most translatable tape of all the first-round wide receivers. Like, I see, even with Cardell Tate, I think Cardell Tate, because he's an outside guy and Lemon's likely a slot guy, I understand why you would have Cardell Tate ahead of Makai Lemon just because, a good outside, if they both end up being good, the guy that wins on the outside is probably going to be a little bit more valuable. But I have less concerns about the way that Makai Lemon was good. Cardell Tate's not a plus athlete. He's not, I think there's going to be a little bit of gap there where how Cardell Tate was winning as the, wide receiver too for Ohio State. But the way that he won at the next level, him not being a plus athlete, I think there is definitely some risk there. There's some risk there for him to end up being the best wide receiver of the class. I think Cardell Tate's going to be a good player. I'm not saying he's a bust. But what I'm saying is, like, there's a chance that, like, Cardell Tate's they just drafted, like, a really good wide receiver. Like, if Cardell Tate ends up being a high-end wide receiver, too, a guy that's capable of 1,000 yards, but never really being, like, that true X factor, I could see that happening because there's that gray area, I think, for how Cardell Tate's going to take that next step and be really good in the NFL. Makai Lemon, what he did at USC, how he won at USC, he didn't win with, like, raw athleticism. He didn't win because he was height, weight, speed. Like, the things that he was able to win with are going to translate right away to the NFL and how he plays and how he attacks the football. He's a psycho. He's literally a psychopath across the middle of the field. Like, I love that we got that guy. All right, we got the final pick. Seattle is on the clock at pick 32. Then I got to wrap this up so I can edit my Eagles reaction to, help pay my slightly used Chevy Suburban that I owe to the Canadian government in a week's time. Seattle at pick 32. What are we thinking? Oh, is this another Make-A-Wish kid? Let's go, buddy. Yeah, let's go, Dylan. Make the most of it, bud. Love this. This guy's losing it, man. I love it. This is what it's all about. Make it memorable, buddy. This is your moment. Whoa! Jadarian Price goes to Notre Dame running backs. Go in the first round. I don't like that pick. That's my initial thought. I don't like that pick. Am I wrong? Does that seem like a little rich? Does that seem like, you lose? Like, didn't really show a lot of effort to keep Kenneth Walker. So it's like, all right, maybe they just don't really value running back long term and or expanded role for Zach Charbonnet could be on the board. And then you get a running back that can kind of complement that committee. You don't draft a running back in the first round to be a part of a committee. And, like, that's what they ran. Trust me, as a Kenneth Walker fantasy owner who was literally nauseous watching how they used him in the playoffs when he was incredible, a committee, Jerry Price was a committee in college. He's likely going to be a part of a committee. That might be my least favorite pick of the, and it's still not, I get it. They need a running back because they lost Kenneth Walker. Jadarian Price, if all the running backs are available, certainly probably in the very plausible debate, the second best running back in this class. Some people like Washington from Arkansas, but from that standpoint, I guess I get it. Player matching the team, I get it. Pick 32, with who's left on the board and with how you've treated the running back spot, I just think a committee player at pick 32, that's a tough pill, considering, I really wish I could toggle on, Jamal McCoy, take that gamble. Get that fifth-year option in case he needs maybe a year off with the, or you don't rush him in, he misses half the year with the injury, getting back up to speed. I think I would have liked that. McNeil Warren at safety, I had them going to the Seahawks in a couple mock drafts. Caden McDonald can make some sense. Colton Hood can make some sense. Pregnon at offensive line, even a guard trying to improve that right guard spot would have made sense if they reached for like a Basantis or a Pregnon. That is a very surprising pick. I honestly think that's probably if I was throwing grades out, that's a C. I'd say a C, closer to a C plus because they need a running back. But I think that might be That might be. I mean, it's the last pick. I mean, you can't be hypercritical. It's the last. Like it's it is not like they drafted him like 10th. Huh. Well, as we wrap up the stream here, I've been asking you guys. I've been seeing your guys' feedback and grades on your team's first round picks. Again, I think most people are pretty happy, which is always a nice thing. I know negativity sells. And being able to make a draft recap video about the worst picks will always get more attention. But it's cool when, most people are happy and fun and excited with the picks that they made in the first round. So then you spiral in. I'm going to have to work on a video, a round 2 mock draft from this point. Who do you guys want your team to get in the second round? It's going to be a frenzy for the top 10 picks in the second round. Everyone's going to want their team to trade up. Where's Jamad McCoy going to go? That's a surprising name. McNeil Warren, Caden McDonald. I mean, some people like Denzel Boston. Denzel Boston, yay, still there. Wow, okay. We got an exciting day 2 and day 3 where, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back here tomorrow night, almost certainly, unless something comes up with my brother, who is, again, just remember the pick. He's sick in the hospital. We'll just leave it at that without going into too much details. But I'm going to be positive and optimistic. We will be here tomorrow night streaming the second round. So if you guys want to, come on over and hang out. I very much appreciate it. We have almost 200 people here consistently hanging out, chilling out. So many different places to watch the draft. I appreciate you guys rocking me. I think this is year 10 of our streams. So shout out, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow night. So if it's your first time stop by, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you check out the second channel. If you're an Eagles fan, you don't know I have a second channel, it's More C4. It's in the video description. All of my Eagle-specific content is always uploaded over there. I think I'm probably going to upload the Lemon reaction to this channel. But every other pick, day 2, day 3, is going to be up over there. So go check that thing out. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, it's your boy C4. Say peace, I love you. Have a good one.